4-0 after 2 periods, and then Minnesota's wake-up call finally came through. 4 goals in the 3rd period and a near miss in the final minute for the 5th. The puck missing by a fraction of an inch. I'm holding my fingers very close together. If you look at your radio very carefully, you can see that. Stars advanced for the first time since 2008. They await the Chicago-St. Louis winner. We'll know that by this time tomorrow morning. Overtime permitting, of course. Blackhawks and Blues, Game 7. That one's all tied up at 3 games apiece. Also tonight, Ducks and Predators, Game 6. Anaheim leads 3-2. The winner of that series will play the San Jose Sharks in the next round. Baseball, had some free baseball on the trip around the majors on Sunday. Red Sox repelled the Astros 7-5 in 12 innings last night. Houston tied it up in the 9th on a Colby Rasmus 2-run tater off closer Craig Kimbrell. But Boston loaded the bases against the Astros closer. Ken Giles scored twice on a Jackie Bradley single and a wild pitch. Nationals outlasted the Twins 6-5. That one went 16 innings. Chris Heisey with a home run to left to end the longest regular season game in Nationals history, 5 hours and 56 minutes. Washington now 14-4, best record in the majors. Pirates subdued the Diamondbacks 12-10 in 13 innings. Arizona scored 2 in the 8th and 2 more in the 9th to force extras. Then each team scored twice in the 12th. And in the 13th, Pittsburgh's Sean Rodriguez drove in the go-ahead run with a double over the head of Shelby Miller in left. Yes, that's the Diamondbacks' number 2 starting pitcher, Shelby Miller, who was inserted into the game as a pinch runner for pinch hitter Zach Greinke. The Snakes' number 1 starter. They used everybody yesterday. Dodgers rallied past the Rockies 12-10. Colorado scored 5 in the 8th to take a 10-7 lead, only to have L.A. put up a 5 spot in the 9th. Only 1 home run in the game in Denver, but 22 hits and 19 walks. Cubs clobbered the Reds 9-0. Anthony Rizzo went deep twice, brought home 4. Jason Hamill and the Argonauts with a 3-hitter. White Sox whipped the Rangers 4-1. Matt Latos gets his 4th win. That matches his season total from last year. Chicago, the best record in the American League. That's right, the Chicago White Sox. Royals ripped the Orioles 6-1. Rays burned the Yankees 8-1. Steven Souza Jr., 2 home runs to celebrate his 27th birthday. Mets edged the Braves 3-2. Jacob deGrom back from those troubles with his infant son. He gets his 2nd win of the year. Marlins stripped the Giants 5-4. Blue Jays dismayed the A's 6-3. Indians doubled up the Tigers 6-3. Both starting pitchers had to leave with injuries. Brewers bumped the Phillies 8-5, scoring 6 times in the 6th inning. Home runs from Scooter Gennett and Alex Presley. Thank you very much. Cardinals punished the Padres 8-5. Jed Jerko homered, tripled, and singled against his old club, and that'll teach him to trade him. And the Mariners harpooned the Angels 9-4 on long balls from Kyle Seager, Leonis Martin, and Seth Smith. In racing at Richmond, Carl Edwards bumped his teammate Kyle Busch off of the line and went through the checkered flag on the final turn to win for the 2nd time this year. That is Monday Sports. I'm Robert Workman.
Wow, lots going on. It's now 7 before the hour. Next on America in the Morning, Lip Service. Back after these messages.
Here's an idea. Instead of waiting for your boss to give you a raise, give yourself one by refinancing your mortgage with Quicken Loans. You could add hundreds of dollars each month to your bottom line, like a boss. Call 800-QUICKEN today or visit us online at QuickenLoans.com. A Quicken Loans refinance gives you the financial power to enhance your life and pursue your passion. Our passion is client service. Here's the proof. For 6 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the 2nd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN and buy in. Again, that number is 800-QUICKEN. Quicken Loans. Home buy, refi, power. Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
What's taking so long to download that song? What are you using? Dial-up?
No way, dude. I've got cable modem.
What are you, a caveman? You have access to fiber. Why are you paying more for less when you can be using the fastest internet on the planet with iFIBER internet?
Righteous, dude. What's that?
Hurley, you could be surfing the web at least 40 to 200 times faster than cable modem using true light speed with iFIBER Communications fiber internet and still save some major bucks over cable modems. Get off that old analog cable and join this century with iFIBER internet. Hurley?
Yeah?
So what are you doing now?
Dude, I'm calling iFIBER to get hooked up so I can totally surf the web at light speed.
Oh, you're such a caveman.
Ha! totally.
You can sign up now with iFIBER Communications. You can find us on the web at iFIBER.tv or call us today at 360-427-4000. That's 360-427-4000.
iFIBER Internet. It's totally awesome, dude.
Monday.
Number 1 at the box office this weekend, The Jungle Book. Number 2, The Huntsman, Winter's War. Number 3, Barbershop, The Next Cut. Beyonce returns to A City in Trouble. Dwayne Johnson is everywhere. And the movie that keeps on winning awards are all in today's Hollywood Minute with David Daniel.
And the safe thing to do is track a new course back up online.
More hardware for The Revenant. The triple Oscar-winning film starring Leo DiCaprio has taken a top prize at the Location Managers Guild International Awards. The epic adventure, which was shot in Canada and Patagonia, won for outstanding locations in a period film. Sicario, filmed along the U.S.-Mexico border, won for outstanding locations in a contemporary film. If you're not familiar with the Location Managers Awards, don't worry. This is just the 3rd year they've been presented. Dwayne Johnson is covering all the bases. He's already set to star in Baywatch, based on the TV series, and Rampage, based on the video game. Now he's announced he'll star in Jumanji, a remake of the 90s family film about a jungle-themed board game that comes to life. And if you just want to see Johnson in another action comedy, he returns to the big screen opposite Kevin Hart in Central Intelligence, June 17th. From lemonade to water. Beyonce, whose new visual album sets social media on fire, is putting on a fundraiser planned as a celebration of the resourcefulness of the people of Flint and Detroit, Michigan. She's calling on fans to donate online and get involved in other ways for a chance to win concert tickets. In February, Beyonce's foundation and the United Way announced they'd give out filtration systems and truckloads of water to residents devastated by a contaminated water supply. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's 3 before the hour on America in the Morning. Plastic surgeons are seeing an increase in augmentation of the lips. Scott Carr explains.
The American Society of Plastic Surgeons says last year saw the greatest number of lip implants ever in the U.S., 27,000 of them, a nearly 50% increase since 2000. Society President David Song says 2015 also saw 9.2 million lip injections like Botox, a 1,000% increase since the turn of the millennium. He says fuller lips are popular with patients who don't want to do something too dramatic to their faces, like facelift or eyelid surgery, and he adds they also don't require patients to go back for multiple office visits. I'm Scott Carr.
Tweeting about a trial could cost jurors plenty in California. Legislation supported by state court officials would let judges fine some jurors up to $1,500 for posting messages on social media. Supporters of the proposed legislation say it would give teeth to current bans on internet use by jurors. And that's it for America in the Morning for Monday, April 25th, 2016. Our producer, Tom Delac. Senior producer, Kevin Delaney. I'm John Trout, and this is Westwood One News.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE Newsradio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Dave Ramsey helps you handle your money. Weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, AM 1030, FM 103.3, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Donald Trump wouldn't be paranoid to think his rivals were plotting against him. Ted Cruz and John Kasich are teaming up to carve up the anti-Trump vote in upcoming primaries to deny Trump enough delegates to clinch the nomination and force an open convention. Details from ABC's Tom Yamas.
An unprecedented move in the GOP race for the White House. Cruz and Kasich, unable to beat Trump on their own, now working hand in hand to split some of the remaining contests. And this is all out in the open. Neither campaign disguising the strategy, and Trump not hiding how he feels.
Trump tweeted desperation. President Obama is sending 250 more military personnel to Syria to assist in the fight against ISIS. ABC's Megan Hughes says they won't be in a combat role.
The president says progress is being made in the fight against the Islamic State. In a wide-ranging security speech in Hanover, Germany, he made the announcement.
I've approved the deployment of up to 250 additional U.S. personnel in Syria, including special forces, to keep up this momentum.
The president also urged European nations to do more when it comes to security, saying Europe has sometimes been complacent about its own defense. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
The southern Ohio town of Piketon remains on edge as police search for whoever gunned down 8 family members execution style in 4 homes. 3 of them had marijuana growing operations. An 18-year-old who shot and wounded 2 students outside a prom in Wisconsin was himself quickly gunned down by police. Investigators believe the gunman, who died later, had planned to open fire inside. Who is Becky with the good hair? It's believed to be a reference to an alleged mystery mistress of Jay-Z, called out in the lyrics of Beyonce's new album, Lemonade. It appears to accuse him of cheating. Prince topped the music charts again days after his death. His greatest hits album, The Very Best of Prince, topped the Billboard 200 as fans rediscovered his music. The Purple Rain soundtrack ranks second, making the top 10, the 1993 album, The Hits, the B-side. This is ABC News.
These days, we barely give lunch the time of day. We bag it, rush it, skip it, and leave it to fend for itself in the fridge. What used to be a break is but a blip on the radar. Well, it's time to take lunch back. At TGI Fridays, get one of our new fast, fresh pairings, like a strawberry field salad with chicken and a bowl of turkey kale soup for just $6.99. And with quick mobile pay, settle up whenever you want, which means you'll have time for a refreshing triple berry smoothie. Make lunch count. Only at TGI Fridays. At participating restaurants, available Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Spring is here. Now's the time to try something new. Open your road with a brand new Can-Am Spyder. Built for the open road, more stable than a motorcycle, and more open to the life around you. For a limited time, get 0% APR financing for 60 months or up to $2,500 rebate on select 2015 models. Visit your local Can-Am Spyder dealer today. Offer ends April 30, 2016. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Hillary Clinton hopes to take a giant step toward clinching the Democratic nomination tomorrow and has even started considering a running mate. ABC's Kenneth Moten has a hint.
I'm just working hard to win on Tuesday.
Hillary Clinton is ahead in all 5 states voting Tuesday in the Northeast. So confident about getting closer to that Democratic nomination, she's got a VP shortlist, including HUD Secretary Julian Castro, New York Senator Cory Booker, and at least one woman. Clinton may be quietly starting the search for a VP, but her rival Bernie Sanders is still making noise, promising to stay in the race.
Take on the status quo.
Sanders rallying a big crowd in Connecticut Sunday night. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Saturday Night Live is reducing the number of ads it runs during the show by nearly a third. According to Ad Age, the show will feature more comedy content and a more branded approach to commercial advertising. Lauren Michael says the show should be easier to watch, as ads appropriate for the demographic will be woven in to give it a seamless feel. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Shelton City Engineer Mike Michaels said work is in full swing on the $3 million state-funded Lake Boulevard and Pioneer Way improvement project. The first layer of pavement has been laid on Lake Boulevard from University Street to the city limit. Work should begin this week on sidewalks on the south from University to U.S. Highway 101. Final paving on the project is not scheduled until July. The road work is primarily funded through state transportation improvement dollars. Kevin Schmelzlin with Shelton to the Top was busy over the weekend with his continuing efforts to clean up the Shelton-Mason County area. Schmelzlin told Daybreak that his cause recently got support from the sheriff's office.
Well, fortunately, we were receiving the support of the Mason County Sheriff's Department in actually removing the trash. So our volunteers are not having to take money out of their own wallets to pay for these dumping fees anymore.
Cool.
So that's a great partnership that we have. I know the Sheriff's Department actually initiated that conversation.
Oh, good.
So I'm really excited about that partnership.
This weekend, volunteers were working on a bad dump site near Webb Hill Road. Keep up with cleanup efforts on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shelton to the top. Jerry Apple from Shelton's SAD Club stopped by Daybreak to talk about tomorrow night's Domino's Pizza Takeover to help raise funds for the club.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun Tuesday, standing out there holding up signs and encouraging everybody to come in. I'd like to see a line all the way down.
Wouldn't that be something?
All the way down to the pine tree, you know.
Yeah.
Money goes in part to SAD when you place your orders between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. SAD Club members Rachel and Josh explained how the money raised will be used.
We are going to use it to go to conferences.
One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge Conference that's coming up. It's called the Spring Youth Forum. That's one of the best ones that we go to, and it's really fun. And we also go to a national conference.
And it won't be all work for the students. In addition to giving a presentation at the Great Wolf, the SAD members will get some time to play on the water rides. The Tax Foundation says Washington State will reach its Tax Freedom Day this week, when residents of the state have earned enough money to pay their total tax bill for the year. Washington taxpayers will meet this obligation on Wednesday. The country as a whole achieved its Tax Freedom Day yesterday. In 2015, Americans paid $3.28 trillion in federal taxes and $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes, for a total tax bill of $4.85 trillion, or 31% of national income. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER One News Radio.
You know, on Science Fantastic, we've had a number of neurologists talking about the incredible breakthroughs. Did you know that using computers, we can actually communicate with the thinking brain? Telepathy, telekinesis, recording memories, photographing a dream. Machines that are controlled by the mind.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Natalie Albaugh recorded 4 strikeouts on the mound and was 3 for 3 at the plate as Shelton fast pitch took care of Capital, 12-1 on the diamond. The High Climbers take on undefeated in conference play Central Kitsap this afternoon at Shelton High School. The Mariners got off to a hot start on their way to a 9-4 victory over the Anaheim Angels. Kyle Seager broke out of his slump in the first inning with a 3-run jack over the right field fence.
And the 2-0 pitch to Seager. Here she comes, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. Calhoun going back to the 1-inning track, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Kyle Seager with a 3-run, 2-out home run here in the top of the first inning.
That was Seager's 3rd home run of the season. Wade Miley pitched a solid outing for Seattle, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. The Mariners are back in action tonight, hosting the Houston Astros. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 10 after 6, and I'm Carol Gardner. There might be some pockets of showers this morning for your commute, but it's going to be partly sunny for the afternoon with highs in the upper 50s. It'll be drier tomorrow with sun and clouds, and highs about the same. And right now it's 36.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South South's most important people, you. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Good morning to you. It's Daybreak, iFIBER ONE News Radio on a Monday morning. It's the 25th of April, and a good morning to you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, and it was a pretty nice weekend to be sure. How you doing, Carol?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing good. So Saturday we had lots of fun events. There was the Traveler 5K run and walk up there near the golf course there at the Alderbrook. Saw some photos from Dale, who was up there. So we were talking throughout the morning. And some 200 runners were up there going around. Oh, he said it was a great event. And then at youth baseball, that was a lot of fun that I had over there at MCRA. So we were able to do a little date night too Saturday night. Paint. I got to tell a story about. You see those pictures on Facebook where you have a friend that goes to a paint thing. They go and they do paint and they look like professional Bob Ross. Mm-hmm. Paints, and I go, there's no way ever I could do anything like that. Sure enough, it was actually a lot easier than I thought.
Paint by numbers, right?
It wasn't paint by numbers. We all sat in a row, and there was an instructor, and they said, okay, so first you're going to do your background. And so you painted your background, and
was that watercolors or what type of medium?
Acrylic on canvas.
Okay.
Because it dries fast. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. 6:11 on iFIBER ONE News. I am like a Picasso. Also, we have got our Mariners Monday trivia contest coming up here.
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
Great.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
Sean had his sports report just now. He had the answer in there somewhere. You got to listen for those clues.
You did, and I could give a hint, but I won't.
Please don't.
But you've heard me talk about it a lot.
Oh, geez, spoiler alert.
And at 8:45, our guest will be Lynn Longan from the Mason County Economic Development Council, and she'll be here to talk about all sorts of things that are happening in the community. And also, we're going to have some headlines coming up throughout the morning. All traffic's now diverted to the new 520 bridge. The old bridge is closed for good. And health officials say the Tri-City residents do not have plague. We'll hear about that story in a little bit.
That's a good news.
Yeah. And the EPA finds Tesora's oil refinery in Anacortes. And results are water is safe to drink in Seattle.
Oh, wow. When is all this news? Plague, lead.
I know, it's like the end of the world.
Thankfully, Beyonce dropped Lemonade over the weekend, so we can all have that.
Life gives you lemon.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Join Alex Jones weeknights from 6 to 10 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
I know of what I speak, and you can't go to somebody's YouTube channel and say they showed a news article from the BBC and then say that you can't show that because someone in Pakistan was holding up a photo of your son who reportedly died at Sandy Hook, and they're saying that the same person died in a terror attack in Pakistan. Obviously, we've got to investigate this, just like we investigated Brian Williams and his claims.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER ONE News Radio are still your only South Sound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are brought to you in part by Desco AV, Arch Mechanical Services, the all-new Gillis Auto Center, and the Roof Doctor.
It's that time of year again for Seattle Mariners baseball, and iFIBER ONE News Radio is the only station to carry the Mariners in the South Sound. Be part of the team and advertise your business on iFIBER ONE News Radio's coverage of the Mariners broadcast every day this season. Summertime in the Northwest means people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities and listening to the Mariners while camping, fishing, and boating. And the only place to listen to the Mariners around Puget Sound is on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Your business should be part of the Mariners broadcast each day to hit one of the biggest listening audiences in radio. Choose from packages that get you on every game or every inning of over 150 games this season. Call the sales team at iFIBER ONE News Radio today at 360-426-1030 or email us at sales@ifiber1.com and sign up to be part of the great season of Mariners baseball.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
All right, thanks, Rick Riz. It is 6:15 here on a Monday, the 25th of April. Mariners taking on Houston tonight. Pregame at 6. First pitch at 7:10. Jeff Slakey, Carol Gardner here on a Monday morning, and a good morning to you, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
There's also the Arts Walk going on. We didn't even realize it was Arts Walk until we got down there. We talked about it all day
I know,
Friday.
you're one of those people that you were talking about. Remember that there's Arts Walk, and the roads are going to be all crazy.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Mason County Treasurer Lisa Frazier would like to remind the taxpayers that property tax payments for year 2016 are due April 30th. That is coming up very soon. It's coming up on Saturday. Because it is on a Saturday, payments will be accepted Monday, May 2nd, without interest charges. That's nice. Please note, to have your payment accepted without these charges, payments must be either postmarked on or before May 2, 2016, made electronically online, or before May 2nd, 2016. If you take it in person to the treasurer's office, payment drop box is located just to the left of the main doors there at Mason County Building 1. So property taxes are due week from today.
Election 2016. I need some music for this, I think.
We can find some election music. So anytime we talk about elections, we can have some sort of a shun.
Exactly, because it's going to get more intense.
But
I just have some basic information, such as today is the last day to register online or by mail, and last day to update an existing voter registration. Monday, May 16th is the last day to register to vote in person. So there you go. And so August 2nd is the primary election. And if you are going to be running for election, the first day that they're going to accept candidate filings by mail is May 2nd. And then May 16 through 20 is the candidate filing week.
Okay.
And then if you want to withdraw, May 23rd will be the last day to withdraw.
I think that's the Terminator music.
Yeah, we need something just a little different.
Does that sound like that to you? It sounds like the T2 music.
Yeah, we just need just something a little bit different.
The Alaskaway Viaduct closed for 2 weeks, starting this past Friday. Transportation officials are urging commuters to definitely plan ahead. If you have friends in Seattle who drive a lot, I'm sure that you're hearing about this. 2 weeks closing the viaduct. Closure will cause widespread traffic. And here's how impactful this viaduct is. They say that the closure will expect widespread traffic throughout the region because so many folks are using this thing. DOT says State Route 99 between South Spokane Street and south end of the Battery Street Tunnel will be closed here. Bertha's going right underneath the roadway near Yesler Way, so they're making sure that there's no cars above them.
And Bellingham officials are working to expand shelter options for people as it begins again to clean up homeless camps. The Bellingham Herald reports that a homeless outreach team is tasked with connecting people with services ahead of enforcement. Police will work alongside parks or public works staff to coordinate cleanups. The city wants to set up a shelter without restrictions like a ban on pets as staff and community groups pursue efforts to address homelessness. Bellingham Mayor Kelly Linville says the city stopped cleaning out homeless camps amid a failing number of places for people to go. She said that the city would clean up camps only to have more spring up elsewhere. Linville said a lack of enforcement isn't helping the people, public health, or environment.
I misread that story. Actually, I didn't read the story. I just read the headline. I misinterpreted that entirely.
What did you thought it was about?
I mean, I thought it was helping to clean up, like the trash, not necessarily clean them out of the area.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, It's a hard situation. Where do you put a homeless camp? You put a homeless camp? I mean, there is obviously a need for places for people to be.
I mean, you're not going to, by not addressing the issue, it's not going to go away.
Exactly.
I remember hearing stories, because I went to Western in Bellingham, and I remember hearing stories about all those big mountains up there, the Alger Mountains, just a little south and kind of near Fairhaven and all that stuff. Just tons of encampments of people that lived up there after Vietnam and stuff like that. So 620 iFIBER One News Radio. We were just talking about voting. Here's some political insights for you today.
Here are your political insights from ABC News. He's a billionaire seen as wielding considerable influence amongst conservatives, and Charles Koch doesn't appear too impressed with the Republican presidential hopefuls. In an exclusive interview with ABC News, Koch derided Donald Trump's call to ban Muslims from entering the U.S.
That's antithetical to our approach, but what was worse was this. We'll have them all register. That's reminiscent of Nazi Germany. I mean, that's monstrous, as I said at the time.
Koch says he considers Bill Clinton in some ways a better president than George W. Bush.
Was it possible another Clinton could be better than another Republican
it's
next time around?
It's possible.
5 eastern states hold primaries tomorrow. With Donald Trump expected to do well, John Kasich's campaign says it's shifting resources out of Indiana, which holds its primary next week, to give Ted Cruz a clear shot in the Hoosier State. And those are your political insights. Richard Cantu, ABC News.
Thanks, Richard. It's 621 here, iFIBER One News Radio, and that kind of, there was reading some stuff that, when Kasich and Cruz get together and they say, hey, we're going to stop Trump. That's kind of plays into exactly the whole Trump base. Yeah, they don't like the establishment. Everything's rigged. Right. These two opponents who are supposedly battling it out for the number one spot have decided to come together to go against me. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So
I know.
Plays right into what he's dealing with.
Yes, it does.
622 on a Monday morning, 25th. Good morning to you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Oh. Bay, that lemonade out. I watched some of it last night. It's pretty interesting.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
Regular medical screenings and healthy living can prevent many serious health conditions that end up in surgery. But when surgery is the only option, you can be assured that the best surgical care is close to home. Mason General Hospital Surgery Clinic has highly experienced board-certified general surgeons who specialize in general surgeries and advanced laparoscopic procedures. They lead an excellent surgical team in the modern comfort of Mason General Hospital Surgery Department. Take care of your health and have regular checkups. But when surgery is needed, contact the surgery clinic at 426-4142.
Mason General Hospital Surgery Clinic is part of Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider, translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
625 iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. It's Jeff and Carol here on a Monday. We've got Mariners Monday Trivia Contest coming up between 8:15 and 8:30. We'll Talk about how the Mariners are doing this season. Look back at the record and check out the games. King Felix had a major milestone on Saturday. We'll cover that as well, and then have our trivia contest for you. Listen for Sean's sports report, Sean Wells' sports report, about 3 or 4 minutes here during our newscast after Mary Lynn Foster and ABC Sports. He'll have the clues you need to get in on the winning there, and we'll offer up a pair of tickets to one lucky winner. Be heading into the May 14th game against Los Angeles, and it's the Kyle Seager bobblehead night. Fruit Sports and 20,000 fans will pick up the Kyle Seager bobblehead. So, also coming up at 8:45 from the Mason County Economic Development Council, it's Lynn Longin on the air with us. Health officials, Carol, investigating a possible case of plague in the Tri-Cities, say test results have come back negative. The Benton Franklin Health District said Saturday test results from the state found the resident does not have pneumonic plague. Last case of plague was in 1984. Health officials say the disease can infect humans and animals, most often transmitted through bites of infected fleas. Transmission between people is rare and can be treated with antibiotics if they are caught early.
Officials with Seattle Public Utilities say testing at several homes has determined that the water is safe to drink following concerns over high lead levels. The test results were released Sunday showing that 5 older homes with gooseneck fittings between the water main and the house had lead levels below federal limits. Officials believe the fittings used in some homes that were typically built before 1930 are at risk of unsafe lead levels. The Seattle utility had called for testing after Tacoma water utility managers detected lead in drinking water at 4 homes. Seattle customers were advised to run water for 2 minutes before drinking or cooking with it. Seattle City Council will hold a hearing on water quality issues today.
6:26 at iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Over the weekend, there was a rumor that Beyonce was dropping a new album out. People were getting ready for Lemonade, and it was on HBO. And so basically I feel it was, she had the album, Lemonade, and then she made a music video to all the songs for the thing. And so it was a visual album. That's what they were calling it. We had it on just because I think I was watching Jurassic World before that, right? Of course, I was watching that, and then Bay comes on there, and the big things are what's the hidden meanings, and how can I even get this album?
Beyonce's new album Lemonade dropped Saturday on Tidal, the subscription music service she co-owns with husband Jay-Z and some other artists. And at first, some thought it would only be on Tidal, but 24 hours later, it's now on iTunes for the masses.
Daddy liked his whiskey with his tea.
Ranging from country to rap to rock to inventing its own new genres, Lemonade has been blowing up social media since its surprise debut over the weekend, particularly since the whole thing seems to be about Jay-Z cheating on her.
What a wicked way to treat the girl that loves you.
Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
There's all this speculation on Beyonce and Jay-Z. People on the internet are like, well, when was the last time we saw Jay-Z?
That is true.
You know, things like that. I'm sure they're fine. Why wouldn't they? You know, these people live very private lives. You have no idea what goes on.
No, the media likes to create.
If there's no answer, or even if it's not the answer that you're looking for, it's easier to speculate all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I do it all the time. Why not? 6:29.
Territory, the big stars, right?
6:29 at iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Speaking of big stars, I don't want to toot my own horn this morning, but I'm like a male model now.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, I will. So, you know, I have talked on the air about how minimal my interactions with firearms has been. And I didn't have any kind of real experience with it. I saw something like 22 rifles up at Mason County Sportsmen's Association, the turkey shoot ones. But other than that, I got nothing other than BB guns as a kid. So, friend of the station, Tammy Newton, calls me up one day and says, listen, I know that you don't have any experience with this. I want to help you learn a little bit. So we went up to this place in Belfair, Garrison Defensive, and so I learned a lot, and it really opened my eyes, whatever. And now she was taking photos, working on the trifold brochure, and that one of the photos turned out really nice. In action shot, you can see the flame ring coming out of the pistol. So she says, can I use this? And I've never seen this before. So I get the brochure on Friday. take it home to Steph. Hey, check out this new ad. Like Sunday night, 3 days later, hey, you're in here.
You're listening to Daybreak.
You made quite an impression.
ONE Newsradio.
You're right. Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Shelton City engineer Mike Michaels said work is in full swing on the $3 million state-funded Lake Boulevard and Pioneer Way improvement project. The first layer of pavement has been laid on Lake Boulevard from University Street to the city limit. Work should begin this week on sidewalks on the south from University to U.S. Highway 101. Final paving on the project is not scheduled until July. The road work is primarily funded through state transportation improvement dollars. Kevin Schmelzlin with Shelton to the Top was busy over the weekend with his continuing efforts to clean up the Shelton-Mason County area. Schmelzlin told Daybreak that his cause recently got support from the sheriff's office.
Well, fortunately, we were receiving the support of the Mason County Sheriff's Department in actually removing the trash. So our volunteers are not having to take money out of their own wallets to pay for these dumping fees anymore.
Cool.
So that's a great partnership that we have. I know the Sheriff's Department actually initiated that conversation.
Oh, good.
So I'm really excited about that partnership.
This weekend, volunteers were working on a bad dump site near Webb Hill Road. Keep up with cleanup efforts on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shelton to the Top. Jerry Apple from Shelton's SAD Club stopped by Daybreak to talk about tomorrow night's Domino's Pizza Takeover to help raise funds for the club.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun Tuesday, standing out there holding up signs and encouraging everybody to come in. I'd like to see a line all the way down.
Wouldn't that be something?
All the way down to the pine tree, you know.
Yeah.
Money goes in part to SAD when you place your orders between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. SAD Club members Rachel and Josh explained how the money raised will be used.
We are going to use it to go to conferences.
One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge conference that's coming up. It's called the Spring Youth Forum. That's one of the best ones that we go to, and it's really fun. And we also go to a national conference.
And it won't be all work for the students. In addition to giving a presentation at the Great Wolf, the SAD members will get some time to play on the water rides. The Tax Foundation says Washington State will reach its Tax Freedom Day this week, when residents of the state have earned enough money to pay their total tax bill for the year. Washington taxpayers will meet this obligation on Wednesday. The country as a whole achieved its Tax Freedom Day yesterday. In 2015, Americans paid $3.28 trillion in federal taxes and $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes, for a total tax bill of $4.85 trillion, or 31% of national income. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
The Lakers are looking for a new coach. Cavs and Spurs advance, and Johnny Football in big trouble. Hi, everybody. Todd Ent reporting on sports. After 2 seasons on the job, the Lakers fired head coach Byron Scott late Sunday night. The last 2 years have been the worst in franchise history under Scott, with a record of 38 and 126. The Cavaliers are off to the second round after sweeping the Pistons 100-98 in Detroit. LeBron James says, nice job by new coach Tyronn Lue.
You know, he gave us a game plan, and if we as the players could execute that as close to 100%, then we had a good chance to win every game, which we did.
Atlanta or Boston up next for Cleveland. The Warriors' golden boy left game 4 with a knee injury.
Curry slips and falls. The jumper's up no good. Curry is hurt, but he is limping badly.
On KNBR, Curry will have an MRI today after spraining his right knee. Warriors beat the Rockets to take a 3-1 series lead. The little guy hits big shots as Boston levels the series with the Hawks.
Kick to the corner. Isaiah 3. Got it!
Elizabeth was coming to see you, and I got a sandwich in my hand, baby. Oh!
Cedric Cornbread Maxwell doing his best Red Fox imitation on WBZ. Boston drops Atlanta 104-95 in overtime. The Spurs are into the second round, sweeping the Grizzlies 116-95. NHL Brooklyn went to double overtime.
Tavares, right circle, walks in, shoots Luongo the save. Rebound, Tavares goes in and scores! John Tavares has won it in overtime!
On WRHU, the Islanders eliminate Florida 2-1 in 6 games. Tampa Bay up next. Washington shuts out the Flyers 1-0, taking the series in 6 games. Caps and Penguins in round 2. Dallas holds off Minnesota to knock out the Wild 5-4. ABC affiliate WFAA in Dallas reports quarterback Johnny Manziel has been indicted by a Dallas County grand jury on a misdemeanor assault charge. An announcement expected today. And he's back on the UFC card after all. Conor McGregor tweeting overnight that he's fighting Nate Diaz in UFC 200 in Las Vegas. NASCAR Carl Edwards won the Sprint Cup race in Richmond, Virginia. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
This Monday, you've got a chance to win tickets to the Mariners during Daybreak. Get clues during the Monday Morning Sports Report, and between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for the Mariners theme music, and you could be a winner. First caller with the right answer to 360-462-1041 wins a pair of tickets to the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. Only one winner per household per season. For complete rules, check iFIBER1newsradio.com. It's Mariners Monday on Daybreak.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Natalie Albaugh recorded 4 strikeouts on the mound and was 3 for 3 at the plate as Shelton fast pitch took care of Capital 12-1 on the diamond. The High Climbers take on undefeated in conference play Central Kitsap this afternoon at Shelton High School. The Mariners got off to a hot start on their way to a 9-4 victory over the Anaheim Angels. Kyle Seager broke out of his slump in the first inning with a 3-run jack over the right field fence.
And the 2-0 pitch to Seager. Here she comes, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. Calhoun going back to the 1-inch track, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Kyle Seager with a 3-run, 2-out home run here in the top of the first inning.
That was Seager's 3rd home run of the season. Wade Miley pitched a solid outing for Seattle, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. The Mariners are back in action tonight, hosting the Houston Astros. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 6:37. I'm Carol Gardner. Some pockets of showers this morning for your commute, but it's going to be partly sunny for the afternoon with highs in the upper 50s. Drier tomorrow with sun and clouds. Highs about the same. And right now it's 36.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It is Daybreak, iFIBER One News Radio, 638, and ABC News is coming up at 7 o'clock. As you heard, it is a Monday.
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
Thanks, Rick. And again, a pair of tickets to the May 14th game. Again, Los Angeles is on the docket for the day today. Also looking at some news stories from around the Northwest, and there are plenty of ways to connect with us. Is that right, Carol?
Sure. You can find us on iFIBER1newsradio.com. You can see us on Daybreak. We're right in the upper right corner. We're playing right now. We're live and on pretty much every page on our website. Also, you can hear us on AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and you can follow us on Facebook by liking our page. Just search for iFIBER One News Radio in the Facebook search bar at the top of the page. Mm-hmm. And you can follow us on iFIBER One Radio on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter. Yeah. So on our news site, you can comment and you can post. And as I said, you can watch the Daybreak show, and you can call us on the listener line at 360-462-1041.
We got some headlines to talk about here throughout the day. All traffic diverted to the new 520 bridge, old bridge, closed for good. They say, right there, recycling the structure. We'll talk about what they'll be doing with that. Tesoro is in the news today, and looks like the water is safe to drink up in Seattle. They had some concerns over potential high lead levels. Additionally, the feds are deciding if coal export project violates any tribal rights for the Lummi tribe. And we've got more news from the Associated Press. Johnny Manziel back in the news. He has every day he's in the news, and it's not for good news. That's unfortunate, but probably important to shine the light on him, as he is I don't even know, is he a prominent football player anymore? I mean,
in the news.
In the news he is. He's not playing for anybody.
Right.
He got dropped by 2 agents.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish the best for him, I suppose, for sure. 6:40 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. We live the country life in just a moment. When we come back, we'll have those headlines and more. Jungle Book dominates. Have that as well coming up.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
How can the shopper work for you? Mailing and fulfillment services will address, insert, and mail your letter to your target demographic. Promotional items. Promotional products are important advertising tools for any organization. Plus, office supplies, printing and design services, and large-scale printing. The shopper is committed to providing products and services with the utmost in customer satisfaction. The shopper. We make good impressions.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Nonprofits post your events on iFIBER1newsradio.com. A free concert presented by the Peninsula Men's Gospel Singers will take place Sunday, May 1st. The times from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. There will be sign language interpretation by Karen Coles. The concert will be held at the Hood Canal Community Church on Finch Creek Road in Hoodsport, and there's no charge for attending. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Onions aren't known for leaving you with fresh breath, but they are popular to grow. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Having a successful crop of onion bulbs depends on both nature and nurture as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
He's done 3 tours and now he's saving his dad's farm. Do you know a farmer veteran like that? We're inviting you to share their story. Successful Farming Magazine and Grasshopper Mowers are teaming up to acknowledge and thank farmer veterans for their service. This new initiative is called From Fighter to Farmer. Enter any veteran farmers you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer. Explain the veteran's military experience and farming operation, along with the involvement they have in your community. 3 veterans will receive a combination prize package of $5,000 and a vacation to Nashville. 1 lucky winner will also receive a $10,000 gift certificate to spend at Grasshopper Mowers. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 40 contiguous United States and D.C. 13 years and older. Begins February 1st, 2016 and ends April 30th, 2016. Subject to official rules at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer rules. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Sponsored Meredith Corporation. From Fighter to Farmer is brought to you by Grasshopper Mowers. Enter any veteran farmer you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer.
One of my favorite things to buy at the farmer's market is onions. They're also one of the easiest plants to grow in the vegetable garden. Brad Bergerford is a horticulture extension educator at Ohio State University. He says you have the choice between planting seeds or bulbs.
Direct seeding usually is just for the green onions, which require a shorter growing season, shorter maturity, and those we would begin to direct seed to the garden as soon as the soil can be worked in early spring. Then we have the onion bulbs or onion sets. And we can start planting onion sets or onion bulbs as early as March or as soon as we can work the garden.
Northern areas of the country should grow long day varieties, and in the south, the short day varieties. This correlates to the length of daylight and heat units needed to produce the bulbs. Onions need fertile soil rich in organic matter. If it's heavy clay, break it up with vermiculite or potting soil. Otherwise, you'll have a low germination rate, especially if you direct seed. And don't forget the water. Burgerford says in order to produce nice-sized onion bulbs, make sure they're getting an inch of water per week. They also need fertilizer, but not right away.
One of our problems our gardeners have is putting down too much of the nitrogen early on in that plant's life. And the onion plant really does not need that nitrogen early on. It needs to have the nitrogen once it reaches post-juvenile stage and just prior to bulb formation.
The timing of fertilizer application depends on what type of onion you're growing, but Burgerford says it's usually within 8 to 10 weeks after transplanting. Learn more about growing onions at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at iFIBER One News Radio, about 15 to 7 on a
Mariners Monday.
Mariners Monday. It's exactly what it is, a Mariners Monday.
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right. I'd like to hear Rick Riz's voice.
You were, what are you
wearing
saying?
my blue
I see it.
Mariners money, and you're wearing
Blue-
eggplant.
Blue Monday.
You're wearing eggplant.
Well, that's the new look of the Mariners. I don't know. 646 at iFIBER One News Radio. The Old Farmer's Almanac coming up in just a couple of moments. Also, we want to make sure that people are aware that today is the last day to register online or by mail for voting, the last day to update an existing voter registration. And then Monday, May 16th is the last day to register to vote if not currently registered in Washington State, and this must be done in person. So the last day to register online or by mail is today. Also the last day to update existing voter registration. Candidate filings show up on Monday. The candidate filing week is between 16th and 20th. That's when we start to see a bunch of them start to come in. And then the last day for candidates to withdraw who have perhaps put their names in and then decided against it is May 23. All that information is at vote.wa.gov.
Another reminder is our Mason County Treasurer would like to let you know, taxpayers, your property tax payments for the year 2016 are due April 30th. And since April 30th is on a Saturday, payments are going to be accepted Monday, May 2nd without interest charges. So once again, end of the month, but you have till May 2nd to actually get that check in there.
Okay. We got big guests today at 8:45. Lynn Longan, the director of the Mason County Economic Development Council, will be in. And throughout the rest of the week, we have our regularly scheduled interviews with Transit Talk and Port of Call. Thursday, we will have Mike Patty from Central Mason Fire and EMS, the assistant chief there, Mike Patty, in to talk with things about going on fire season. And then this upcoming Thursday, during our Focus on Shelton, we will talk about Arbor Day, which is on Friday. So that's what's going on there. Coming up at 7 o'clock is ABC News.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News. President Obama announcing that at least 250 more special ops forces will be sent to Syria to help in the fight against ISIS. We'll have the latest coming up.
And the new 520 bridge is open to eastbound commuters today, shutting down the old 520 bridge for good. Both bridges were closed this weekend as crews finished the process of routing both directions of traffic onto the new floating bridge. Because didn't they make it so one lane was one way? Gosh, that always scares me when I used to drive up through Seattle and you get near the express lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're not going to take the express lanes, it's very nerve-wracking to, is it open? Am I in the wrong lane? Are cars just going to start coming at me?
If you don't do it enough.
Oh, so I think I've only even been able to get on the express lanes once.
But they should be, the gates will come down and you will not be able to get any farther.
I know this, Carol. I know the gates come in, but what if they don't?
Yeah, you do feel some anxiety if you are not that familiar with them. I agree.
Man, I feel
it is sort of strange.
Much anxiety. All right, the 520 bridge has been having bikers and walkers and festivities on it. They are going to be recycling the old structure, going to demolish the concrete roadway and support columns, and then float the old pontoons off to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool stuff.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has fined Tesoro Oil Refinery in Anacortes nearly $720,000 for alleged safety violations. The EPA said last week it filed a complaint seeking penalties for these violations, which were found during 2 facility inspections in 2011. The violations didn't result in any injuries, but the EPA says prevention is critical at oil and gas refineries. A Tesoro official says the company has cooperated with the agency, but believes the EPA claims are wrong on the facts and the law. In 2010, an explosion at the refinery killed 7 workers. Tesoro is appealing $2.4 million in fines related to that case. The refinery supplies gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel to markets in Washington and Oregon. About 350 people work there.
6:51, the Old Farmer's Almanac coming up now, and a CNBC Business Radio report at 6:57, just before ABC News. It's all coming up here on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Do you synchronize your planting schedule based on the moon's phase? A word to the wise on waxing and waning today from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Monday, April 25th, the 116th day of the year. Al Pacino has a birthday, and on this day in 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway opened, connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. Depending on which part of the country you're in, planting season is either here or rapidly approaching. If you go by the age-old custom of planting by the moon's phase, here's how things stand. There is a waning moon right now, so any planting will be by the dark of the moon. This period is thought to be favorable for below-ground crops, potatoes, carrots, radishes, and such. After the new moon on May 6th, planting will be by the light of the waxing moon, favorable for above-ground crops like beans, peppers, and tomato plants. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Consult our spring planting guide online at almanac.com.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
6:53 at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and a good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at iFIBER ONE, a CNBC Business Radio report coming up in a few minutes, and ABC News after that between 8:15 and 8:30. We'll talk about the Mariners and see how they're doing so far this season. Be listening for Sean Wells's sports report coming up at the tops and bottoms during our newscast, and it has the clues you need to win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game, so we'll play that contest. Also talk about King Felix over the weekend with the most strikeouts of any Mariner, beating the big unit there.
Yeah, but too bad his team doesn't always back him up.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too when I heard about all his records. He's been here the whole time since he was a young man, and you just kind of think about what if. Now, obviously, I don't want to see him leave Seattle.
No, I do not.
But if he were to be just a pitcher.
Just a pitcher?
Just a pitcher for another team that we covered, how good he would be. With the no-hitters and the perfect games and the this and the that and the strikeouts.
Well, it's still early in the season, and there are plenty of games left.
Yeah, there's not a million games.
There's quite a bit compared to our other
Of course, you know that. 6:53 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Big over the box office.
Mowgli and Friends ran to first place once again, The Jungle Book, winning its second straight weekend at the box office, an estimated $60.8 million for the Disney remake, which has now earned over $500 million worldwide. In second, the Snow White sequel, The Huntsman Winter's War, opened to less than half of the 2012 original, a disappointing estimated $20.1 million. Barbershop 3 finished third. Zootopia and The Boss round out the top 5. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Over the weekend, it was a different Jungle Book in downtown Olympia for the Procession of the Species, a wonderful parade every year, and my goodness, it was packed to the gills with folks.
I'm sure it was.
We were looking for a parking spot because we went and did a little, we had the grandparents were able to watch Kaiser for us on Saturday night after events and whatnot, and so we went downtown, not necessarily for Arts Walk, although we were there for that, but we went to do this painting thing where it was like a date night where you sit there and there's an instructor who teaches you how to paint. You saw the pictures. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
You got the shine on the metal of the bike. It makes it look,
and then
sort of like metal.
And so you see all these other beautiful pieces of art and you go, there is no way in heckfire that I'm going to be able to even come close to this.
Yeah, but if you have a teacher that shows you how to do it,
sure,
and you take the time and you have the patience and you sort of learn why you put paint in certain spots. So next year we'll see Jeff's painting hanging on the walls.
As a matter of fact, that the Shelton Rotating Art Gallery, professional or amateur artists working in 2- and 3-dimensional media invited to apply for gallery exhibitions at the Shelton Civic Center Rotating Art Gallery.
Yeah, you can hang yours up here.
I don't know, but I haven't gone that far. Sponsored by the Shelton Arts Commission. Here's why. Very visible to the general public.
Well, haven't you always sort of wanted to have a really big canvas and just paint it?
No, because I look at the emptiness of it and I go, what on earth am I going to fill?
You just start throwing paint at the wall.
I'm not like a sculptor who sees
you don't have the visual
image in the block of
you don't?
rock. I have a very hard time.
Are you one of the kind of people that can look at the clouds or like the wall and see images in it? Because every time I look at something, like if it has texture, I'll see an image. You've never done that?
Not all the time.
Really? Constantly I see faces. So
when you look up in the clouds, you see what, like turtles and stuff?
Oh, yeah. All sorts of different things. Maybe you need to start.
Maybe I need to expand my horizons a little.
Yeah. Start improving that side of your brain that sees things.
I mean, I see when there are images on the internet where people say, look here, this is Jesus in a French toast or something. I will see that.
Yeah, because they've already told me. But you wouldn't be able to look at a textured wall and see something.
No, I don't think I'm alone either. I think
you're not alone, I'm sure.
I have a hard time visualizing things when they're said to me. And people say, think about this in your mind's eye.
And you don't have that.
And there's
picture.
No image that pops up.
It's just black in your mind. Or maybe
much
it's
like
just
my
fog.
Monday morning outlook. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. I hear something and I don't see a picture.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Stocks are lower on a dip in oil prices, along with some underwhelming earnings results on Friday. The markets finished flat after disappointing quarterly results from Microsoft and Alphabet. The Dow's down 88 points, the Nasdaq lower by 11. Gasoline prices have jumped 8 cents over the past 2 weeks. The current national average at the pump is averaging $2.18 per gallon. Analysts say the rising cost of gas is because of higher oil prices and the seasonal switch to summer blend. Automakers are showing off their new SUVs in China's largest auto show of the year. Honda rolled out 2 models among dozens shown by global and local automakers. Sales of SUVs there more than doubled last year. And in just a few moments from now, the Commerce Department will release data on new home sales. Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio.
Sometimes diabetes can feel more like don't-abetes. Don't do this, don't forget that. But with a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. Stop by to get expert pharmacy advice 24/7 and savings on medications and supplies. You can even get rewarded for healthy behaviors like logging your glucose. Walgreens has just what you need to do more with diabetes. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Limitations apply. For full program terms and conditions, visit walgreens.com/healthy choices.
Any Napa guy knows, and science proves, the best minivan is the one you've already got. Part kid transporter, part drywall mover. Who cares if the faux wood grain is a little faded? That was a platinum package option in 1987. With over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. Because it's not old, it's vintage. That's Napa know-how.
Tom Hartman is live and waiting your call weekdays from 9 to noon on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030, FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. They didn't even bother to try to hide it. Ted Cruz and John Kasich are openly collaborating to deprive Donald Trump of the delegates he needs to secure the nomination. They're plotting to back off on certain states to ace Trump out. Trump tweeted his response in all caps, desperation. ABC political analyst Matthew Dowd says he may have a point.
I think it is too little too late. I think it's some bizarre show of Survivor that we're seeing in the course of this. The last time an alliance was formed like this was when Batman and Lex Luthor got together to try to beat Superman.
Grief counselors are on duty at a Wisconsin high school after last night's deadly prom shooting. An 18-year-old opened fire outside the school, wounding 2 students before he was fatally shot by police. ABC's Neil Kalinsky has the story.
Police say the attacker is 18-year-old Jacob Wagner, who had graduated from the Antigua High School just last year. They say he actually still came back and participated in art classes at the school. He was lying in wait, they say, Saturday night about 11 p.m. with a rifle outside the school prom when he opened fire. There's no known motive at this time. However, his grandfather did tell ABC News he believes that Wagner had been bullied. Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Antigua, Wisconsin.
14-year-old Abigail Koff of Kalamazoo, Michigan, who was shot in the head during an Uber driver's rampage and initially feared dead, says her goal now is to do cartwheels again. Abby told ABC's Good Morning America she's a warrior princess. Ohio officials are still searching for the gunman who shot and killed 8 family members in 4 separate homes. Marijuana growing operations were found at 3 of them. ABC's Alex Perez says the community is shaken.
Until investigators can figure out who is responsible for these murders, the sheriff going as far as telling the victims' family members they should arm themselves to ensure their safety.
The boss saluted Prince in a New York City concert last night. Bruce Springsteen opened his show with Purple Rain. The E Street Band wore purple. This is ABC News.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100+ job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/ABC Radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ABC Radio. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/ABC Radio.
A former Pennsylvania senator has just announced he's gay and he has a new partner. ABC's Brad Milkey tells us he's making it public about 20 years after his wife's death.
In a New York Times op-ed, Harris Wofford says the last 20 years have been a story of 2 great loves. His wife died when they were each nearly 70. That, he figured, was the end of that. But then he met a man almost 50 years his junior who slowly became more than a friend. It took Wofford years to summon the courage to introduce Matthew Charlton to his family. But this Saturday, 20 years after the death of his wife and a year after the Supreme Court decision affirming gay marriage, the senator will exchange a new set of vows. Brad Milkey, ABC News.
The screenwriter behind the female reboot of Ghostbusters, Katie Dippold, says she's surprised at the hate emails she's gotten, mostly from men. It's interesting to me that some people want it to fail, she said. What if you watched it and loved it? Why would that be bad, she asked. The movie opens July 15th and stars Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon as a mismatched group of paranormal investigators. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Shelton City engineer Mike Michaels said work is in full swing on the $3 million state-funded Lake Boulevard and Pioneer Way improvement project. The first layer of pavement has been laid on Lake Boulevard from University Street to the city limit. Work should begin this week on sidewalks on the south from University to U.S. Highway 101. Final paving on the project is not scheduled until July. The road work is primarily funded through state transportation improvement dollars. Kevin Schmelzlin with Shelton to the Top was busy over the weekend with his continuing efforts to clean up the Shelton-Mason County area. Schmelzlin told Daybreak that his cause recently got support from the sheriff's office.
Well, fortunately, we were receiving the support of the Mason County Sheriff's Department in actually removing the trash. So our volunteers are not having to take money out of their own wallets to pay for these dumping fees anymore. Cool. So that's a great partnership that we have. I know the Sheriff's Department actually initiated that conversation.
Oh, good.
So I'm really excited about that partnership.
This weekend, volunteers were working on a bad dump site near Webb Hill Road. Keep up with cleanup efforts on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shelton to the Top. Jerry Apple from Shelton's SAD Club stopped by Daybreak to talk about tomorrow night's Domino's Pizza Takeover to help raise funds for the club.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun Tuesday, standing out there holding up signs and encouraging everybody to come in. I'd like to see a line all the way down.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
All the way down to the pine tree, you know.
Yeah.
Money goes in part to SAD when you place your orders between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. SAD Club members Rachel and Josh explained how the money raised will be used.
We are going to use it to go to conferences.
One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge conference that's coming up. It's called the Spring Youth Forum. That's one of the best ones that we go to, and it's really fun. And we also go to a national conference.
And it won't be all work for the students. In addition to giving a presentation at the Great Wolf, the SAD members will get some time to play on the water rides. The Tax Foundation says Washington State will reach its Tax Freedom Day this week, when residents of the state have earned enough money to pay their total tax bill for the year. Washington taxpayers will meet this obligation on Wednesday. The country as a whole achieved its Tax Freedom Day yesterday. In 2015, Americans paid $3.28 trillion in federal taxes and $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes, for a total tax bill of $4.85 trillion, or 31% of national income. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
iFIBER One News Radio wants to take this time to thank the sponsors of Mariners Baseball who help bring the games to you on AM 1030 and FM 103.3. You can show your appreciation by supporting our local advertisers who bring you Mariners Baseball in the South Sound. When you support our local sponsors, you are supporting our local communities. More Mariner Baseball is on the way from iFIBER One News Radio.
This is Doug Sample from Whitney Chevrolet. We're going to save you money. Montesano has one of the lowest sales tax rates in the state, plus our costs are way less than other dealers. And right now, we're offering up to 90 days with no payments on any new or used vehicles with proof of your tax refund. They all come with lifetime oil changes to boot. Stop by and visit WhitneyChev.com to check out our inventory.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Worth the drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Natalie Albaugh recorded 4 strikeouts on the mound and was 3 for 3 at the plate as Shelton fast pitch took care of Capital 12-1 on the diamond. The High Climbers take on undefeated in conference play Central Kitsap this afternoon at Shelton High School. The Mariners got off to a hot start on their way to a 9-4 victory over the Anaheim Angels. Kyle Seager broke out of his slump in the first inning with a 3-run jack over the right field fence.
And the 2-0 pitch to Seager. Here she comes, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. Calhoun going back to the 1-inning track, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Kyle Seager with a 3-run, 2-out home run here in the top of the first inning.
That was Seager's 3rd home run of the season. Wade Miley pitched a solid outing for Seattle, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. The Mariners are back in action tonight, hosting the Houston Astros. Pre-game is live on iFIBER ONE News Radio at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:10. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. Thank you. It's 10 after 7. I'm Carol Gardner, and there's going to be some pockets of showers this morning for your morning commute, but it's going to be partly sunny for the afternoon with highs in the upper 50s. Drier tomorrow with sun and clouds. Highs about the same, and right now it's 36.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
I mean, why wouldn't it be still watering? Just because I have a timer on it, it still has to water. Just because I'm not physically watering.
Eating chips and sitting on the lounge.
Yeah, man. Thinking smarter. Working smarter, not harder.
That's right.
I was looking at the amount of precipitation over the week to figure out what I needed to do for my grass.
It's not going to be much, but I mean, it'll seem like, oh, it's raining, but it's not going to be substantial. So if you already are having to water, then you should probably be watering.
Got a lot of new growth on some of these.
So you're finally getting some grass.
Finally getting some grass.
Man, that was a long time
It's
coming.
been a long time
I've
coming.
heard about it.
Yeah, I know you have. 7-Eleven at iFIBER ONE News Radio. There are plenty of ways to connect with us here at the old Radio Ranch, both on the AM at 1030. Maybe the FM is a better match for you at 103.3. On Twitter, you can follow us at iFIBER ONE Radio. You can get our news on Facebook. If you're a Facebooker, like our page, and then it pops up right on your news feed. You can just search for iFIBER ONE News Radio there at the top. See what we've got to offer. Just launched a brand new iFiberOneNewsRadio.com, and you can comment on the stories. You can post your own stories, your lost and found pets as well. We're working hard on getting all that kinked out here. And also you can watch the Daybreak show. Call us on the listener line at 360-462-1041. That's the number you need, because coming up,
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
7:12 here right now. Some headlines from the Associated Press.
All traffic is diverted to the new 520 bridge. The old bridge is closed for good. Health officials say the Tri-Cities resident does not have the plague. EPA finds Tesoril's oil refinery in Anacortes. Seattle Utility says there's no lead in the water and it's safe to drink. And a large pothole on I-5 near Marysville causes a huge traffic jam.
Oh, I bet it would. Yikes.
Yeah. Seattle's Alaskaway Viaduct closed Friday for 2 weeks. I'm
Talk
sure there'll
about
be
a
signs
mess.
there. You won't be going
better
over
be a
it.
Trying to think if I have to go up north at all. Even if I did, that would be a tough commute.
Avoid that area.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER ONE News Radio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER ONE News Radio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
Based on the current debt situation in the United States, many retirees have become concerned about their Social Security benefits. Receiving that continuous income stream is the foundation of retirement income planning. Janet Pack here, host of Smart Retirement Radio. I've met so many people either near or currently retired that fail to maximize their benefits, especially Social Security. To maximize your Social Security, know the answers to these questions. How much Social Security am I going to receive? When should I start receiving my benefits? What are my spousal planning options? Is there an impact on my Social Security if I continue working during retirement? How is my Social Security benefit taxed? I want you to understand how you can maximize your Social Security benefits. We're hosting an absolutely free Social Security Maximization Workshop, Tuesday, November the 12th at 6 p.m., the Quality Inn, Lacey, Washington. We're going to fill up fast, so call to make a reservation today, 1-800-779-1944. Again, 800-779-1944.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It's a Monday morning here. In about an hour, we're going to start getting ready for our Mariners Monday contest. Between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for that Mariners theme music. Get you in on the winning for a pair of tickets to an upcoming Mariners game, the May 14th game against Los Angeles. It is also Root Sports' Kyle Seager bobblehead night, so that'll be very exciting there. We will also talk about the King Felix over the weekend, the strikeout leader for the Mariners history. That's pretty darn cool. And then give you a chance to win tickets. If you or anyone in your household has won so far, we've had 2 contests, then you are ineligible for the rest of the season. All the rules there are on the all-new iFiber1newsradio.com. Daybreak here on a Monday morning. Jeff and Carol. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
You have all your registration voting stuff updated?
Yes, I do.
Today is the last day to register online or by mail. Also the last day to update an existing voter registration. Now you have additionally until May 16th. This will be the last day to register to vote if not currently registered in Washington State. And you got to do this in person. August 2 is the primary election. November 8, of course, the general. First day to accept candidate filings by mail is a week from today. But candidate filing week traditionally is May 16th through the 20th. We continue to go through other election information. You can go to vote.wa.gov. And tomorrow, more folks across the country will be casting ballots.
Yeah, the fight for the presidential nomination continues when 5 states, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island, head to the polls in what some political pundits have dubbed the ASELA primaries. Hey, what's the SELA? What's the nickname? Comes
exactly
from a high-speed Amtrak train that runs between Washington and Boston, much traveled by those heading to cities such as Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York. So it's sort of like it's all coming together. And the Democrats have the highest bounty of the day with 462 delegates, and Republicans have about 172 to get. So I don't know. I mean, Pennsylvania, a big, huge prize. 17 of the states say they're bound to back the primary winner at the convention, and then the remaining 54 are unpledged and are allowed to vote for any candidate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, right now, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton hold the leads in both their respective races, but
so
John Kasich.
Yeah, we were just talking about this, that Kasich and Cruz have, I don't want to say teamed up, but they've basically teamed up.
Yeah, they've banded together, I'd say.
And so there's no real, in my opinion, chance for Cruz in any of these ASELA primary states.
Right.
It's Northeast. It's not really how Northeastern Republicans think the same way as Ted Cruz thinks. And it's been a traditional Trump stronghold, right? He got New York, crushed it in there. But Kasich is a good player against Trump. So Cruz is now out saying that they're going to not recede, but take away some stuff that they're for politicking, like in Oregon and these places, to give Kasich a better shot.
Yeah,
why would they do this?
I do not know, but we will see how it goes along with these delegates unpledged and how they. We'll see how it plays out going forward, and it's not going to be pretty.
Big day tomorrow as the ASELA primaries. We've got the Mariners Monday contest getting ready to come our way in about an hour here on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio. iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE News Radio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE News Radio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE News Radio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Fit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER ONE News Radio are still your only South Sound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are brought to you in part by Desco AV, Arch Mechanical Services, the all-new Gillis Auto Center, and The Roof Doctor.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
723, iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. It's Daybreak. Mariners Monday trivia contest coming up between 8:15 and 8:30. Carol, the last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks now, I don't remember, the Navy launched from Portland. Yeah, it had to have been about 3 weeks ago, because I remember thinking it was strange to have a naval warship being christened and launched from Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is the port land. Do you remember that, though?
I do. It's the ACTUV, which means Anti-Submarine Warfare Continuous Trail Unmanned Vessel.
Active. Active.
Active.
It's very active.
Yes. It's a crewless, 140-ton, 132-foot-long robotic ship.
ABC has more.
From ABC News, Tech Trends.
How often can you be at the christening of a robot warship?
It's my privilege and honor to christen the Sea Hunter.
The christening of a ship unlike any other.
You are all witnessing history.
Deputy Defense Secretary Robert Work in Portland, Oregon, unveiling an unmanned 132-foot drone warship.
You'd be able to send unmanned warships into areas that are very, very dangerous. You don't want to risk the lives of our servicemen and women.
The ship can keep track of submarines and clear out dangerous sea mines, but some are anxious because the ship, despite not having any humans on board, would be armed.
There's no reason to be afraid of a ship like this. I mean, this is a ship that's going to do what we tell it and nothing more.
The model is just a prototype, but Rear Admiral Bob Garrier thinks this is a big step.
Very excited about this. This is a big deal.
The prototype was built by defense company Leidos. With Tech Trends, I'm Mark Remillard, ABC News.
I mean, am I just jaded by the movies that I've seen over my lifetime?
No reason to be afraid of this robotic ship.
That's armed.
Yeah.
By the way, am I jaded by movies I see? And I know that, especially in explosion scenes and stuff like that, they make it souped up for the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But in every movie I've seen, they've got these things, and something happens. There's always the bad guy.
Something goes extremely wrong.
Something goes wrong, and then it becomes self-aware, or somebody takes over.
I don't know. I mean, the Admiral said it looks like a Klingon bird of prey. I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I remember what
it's
those
very
look like.
expensive. Also, $15,000 to $20,000 a day to operate. A day.
Sure, but what's the salary? What would have been the salaries of all the crew?
Not $15,000 to $20,000 a day. Do you think? I don't know. I don't know.
It does look like a bird of prey from Star Wars days.
Yeah.
Star Wars original series, by the way.
Well, okay, so maybe the USS George Washington, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, cost $1.1 million a day to operate.
Okay.
So maybe
half the price.
Yeah.
But still, if there's nobody there, is there really nobody on the ship? And if there's one person, shouldn't they have two people to keep company?
But there's nobody on the ship. Nobody.
This is so nerve-wracking that there's this autonomous.
Look at that thing. We'll share that on Facebook.
Thank goodness it's got the stars and stripes behind it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But, something seems to always go wrong when you put robots.
At least in the movies. And maybe we assume the worst because we see Terminator and
I don't know.
RoboCop. Second reference to Terminator today, too. Dun, 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 dun. 727 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. I want to remind folks that property taxes are due this week. Mason County Treasurer Lisa Frazier liked to remind the taxpayers that property tax payments for year 2016 due on the 30th. But there's a respite, perhaps, because the 30th falls on a Saturday. So payments will be accepted on Monday without interest charges. Please note, though, to have your payment accepted without interest, payment must be either postmarked on or before the 2nd, made electronically online, or before May 2nd, or delivered in person to the treasurer's office on or before May 2nd. And their box is just to the left of the main doors of Mason County Building 1 on 5th Street here in Shelton. So, property tax payments are due. Not always a nice thing to talk about, but you got to pay your taxes. Mm-hmm. Property taxes are due. Better than not telling people and then, 6 months down the line, they get another bill or something like that. Excuse me. 728 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Some new information from the Tri-Cities. There was... Officials have been investigating a possible case of plague. Like the plague.
Like the Black Plague?
Well, this one is the pneumonic plague. I would assume then comes from pneumonia. The Benton Franklin Health District said Saturday the test results from the state found the resident does not have pneumonic plague. Last case of plague here in the great state was 1984. The disease can infect humans and animals, most often transmitted through bites of infected fleas.
Oh.
Transmission between people is rare. The disease can also be contracted by touching infected animals like coyotes, squirrels, rats, and rabbits. With antibiotics, the plague can be treated if caught early. But again, the last case was back in 1984. 7:29 now at iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Let's see, we did that one. I did that one. And the viaduct, Carol, is closed. And it's going to cause a headache for Seattle travelers. 2 weeks starting last Friday. Transportation officials are urging commuters to plan ahead. So if you have to be up near Seattle over the next 2 weeks, the viaduct is closed. Bertha is going to be boring right underneath there, the roadway near Yesler Way. Agency encouraging commuters to work from home if that's an option. Try to adjust your work schedules. Take the bus.
If Bertha was just robotic and we didn't have human intervention, do you think it would have been done better and faster?
Oh, that's a great question.
We were just talking about the robotic ship.
Yeah, no.
What if it was just a robotic Bertha and it realized that there were certain issues, and it just fixed itself and fixed instead of all this consultation?
How are they going to do that stuff when we get to that point in the future? Because if I'm thinking back on this story, they had to have action. So it went in there and it says there's something wrong. But then they had to have real people with eyeballs to go and look at what the problem was.
Yeah, and plus there was stuff in the way that it couldn't do.
That Bertha would not have any idea.
Right.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Shelton City Engineer Mike Michaels said work is in full swing on the $3 million state-funded Lake Boulevard and Pioneer Way improvement project. The first layer of pavement has been laid on Lake Boulevard from University Street to the city limit. Work should begin this week on sidewalks on the south from University to U.S. Highway 101. Final paving on the project is not scheduled until July. The road work is primarily funded through state transportation improvement dollars. Kevin Schmelzlin with Shelton to the Top was busy over the weekend with his continuing efforts to clean up the Shelton-Mason County area. Schmelzlin told Daybreak that his cause recently got support from the sheriff's office.
Well, fortunately, we were receiving the support of the Mason County Sheriff's Department in actually removing the trash. So our volunteers are not having to take money out of their own wallets to pay these dumping fees anymore. Cool. So that's a great partnership that we have. I know the Sheriff's Department actually initiated that conversation.
Oh, good.
So I'm really excited about that partnership.
This weekend, volunteers were working on a bad dump site near Webb Hill Road. Keep up with cleanup efforts on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shelton to the Top. Jerry Apple from Shelton's SAD Club stopped by Daybreak to talk about tomorrow night's Domino's Pizza Takeover to help raise funds for the club.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun Tuesday, standing out there holding up signs and encouraging everybody to come in. I'd like to see a line all the way down.
Wouldn't that be something?
All the way down to the pine tree, you know.
Yeah.
Money goes in part to SAD when you place your orders between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. SAD Club members Rachel and Josh explained how the money raised will be used.
We are going to use it to go to conferences.
One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge conference that's coming up. It's called the Spring Youth Forum. That's one of the best ones that we go to, and it's really fun. And we also go to a national conference.
And it won't be all work for the students. In addition to giving a presentation at the Great Wolf, the SAD members will get some time to play on the water rides. The Tax Foundation says Washington State will reach its Tax Freedom Day this week when residents of the state have earned enough money to pay their total tax bill for the year. Washington taxpayers will meet this obligation on Wednesday. The country as a whole achieved its Tax Freedom Day yesterday. In 2015, Americans paid $3.28 trillion in federal taxes and $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes, for a total tax bill of $4.85 trillion, or 31% of national income. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable. Affordable refrigeration, cooling, and heating. Whether residential, commercial, or food service equipment, your satisfaction is of utmost importance. And with over 30 years of experience, Arch Mechanical Service is backed by a 30-day labor guarantee. Serving South and West Puget Sound, there is no need to pay for one of those big city technicians. Call 360-229-2139. Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable.
This Monday, you've got a chance to win tickets to the Mariners during Daybreak. Get clues during the Monday Morning Sports Report, and between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for the Mariners theme music, and you could be a winner. First caller with the right answer to 360-462-1041 wins a pair of tickets to the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. Only one winner per household per season. For complete rules, check iFiber1newsradio.com. It's Mariners Monday on Daybreak.
The Lakers are looking for a new coach. Cavs and Spurs advance, and Johnny Football in big trouble. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. After 2 seasons on the job, the Lakers fired head coach Byron Scott late Sunday night. The last 2 years have been the worst in franchise history under Scott, with a record of 38 and 126. The Cavaliers are off to the second round after sweeping the Pistons 100-98 in Detroit. LeBron James says, nice job by new coach Tyronn Lue.
You know, he gave us a game plan, and if we as the players could execute that as close to 100%, then we had a good chance to win every game, which we did.
Atlanta or Boston up next for Cleveland. The Warriors' golden boy left game 4 with a knee injury.
Curry slips and falls. The jumper's up no good. Curry is hurt, but he is limping badly.
On KNBR, Curry will have an MRI today after spraining his right knee. Warriors beat the Rockets to take a 3-1 series lead. The little guy hits big shots as Boston levels the series with the Hawks.
Kick to the corner. Isaiah 3. Got it!
Elizabeth was coming to see you, and I got a sandwich in my hand, baby. Oh!
Cedric Cornbread Maxwell doing his best Red Fox imitation on WBZ. Boston drops Atlanta 104-95 in overtime. The Spurs are into the second round, sweeping the Grizzlies 116-95. NHL in Brooklyn went to double overtime.
Tavares, right circle, walks in, shoots Luongo the save. Rebound, Tavares runs in and scores! John Tavares has won it in overtime!
On WRHU, the Islanders eliminate Florida 2-1 in 6 games. Tampa Bay up next. Washington shuts out the Flyers 1-0, taking the series in 6 games. Caps and Penguins in round 2. Dallas holds off Minnesota to knock out the Wild 5-4. ABC affiliate WFAA in Dallas reports quarterback Johnny Manziel has been indicted by a Dallas County grand jury on a misdemeanor assault charge. An announcement expected today. And he's back on the UFC card after all. Conor McGregor tweeting overnight that he's fighting Nate Diaz in UFC 200 in Las Vegas. NASCAR Carl Edwards won the Sprint Cup race in Richmond, Virginia. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Natalie Albaugh recorded 4 strikeouts on the mound and was 3 for 3 at the plate as Shelton Fast Pitch took care of Capital 12-1 on the diamond. The High Climbers take on undefeated in conference play Central Kitsap this afternoon at Shelton High School. The Mariners got off to a hot start on their way to a 9-4 victory over the Anaheim Angels. Kyle Seager broke out of his slump in the first inning with a 3-run jack over the right field fence.
And the 2-0 pitch to Seager. Here she comes, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. Calhoun going back to the 1-inning track, looking up. Goodbye baseball. Kyle Seager with a 3-run, 2-out home run here on the top of the first inning.
That was Seager's 3rd home run of the season. Wade Miley pitched a solid outing for Seattle, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. The Mariners are back in action tonight, hosting the Houston Astros. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 7:40. I'm Carol Gardner. A partly sunny day with highs in the upper 50s. Tomorrow we'll have more clouds, highs about the same. And right now it's 43.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
7:38 at iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey. We've got Lynn Longan coming up at 8:45, the Mason County Economic Development Council Director, and to talk about all the great things that the EDC has been up to, including those roundtables that they go to weekly and get a lot of good information from a lot of businesses and the community about ways to improve the economic development here in Mason County.
And there are plenty of ways to contact with iFIBER One News Radio. We're on the radio at both AM 1030 and FM 1033. On Twitter, you can follow us at iFIBER One Radio, or get our news on Facebook by liking our page. Just search for iFIBER One News Radio in the Facebook search bar. It's at the top of the page. And we have launched the new iFIBER1newsradio.com website. And on this new site, you can comment and post and watch the Daybreak show. You have to register for commenting. Or you can contact us by calling the listener line at 360-462-1041, which you can also use to call in for Mariners Monday, which is today, every Monday. Listen for the sports report that we just heard with Sean Wells during the newscast and get the clues you need to answer a question we will ask between 8:15 and 8:30. The theme music for the Mariners will start up, and the first person with the right answer who calls into the listener line, 360-462-1041, and answers the question correctly, will win tickets to the May 14th game against Los Angeles, and that is the Root Sports Kyle Siegel bobblehead night.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. You want to go to that game too, don't you? You're not you necessarily, but your mom has
my mom.
Big fan, huh?
Of Kyle Seeger, yes.
Very cool. 7:41 at iFIBER One News Radio. Some of the other stories that we're talking about and looking over from the Associated Press. Bellingham has restarted its homeless camp cleanups. We'll have that story for you. Also, there's a big old pothole near Marysville, which had a major impact on traffic. The feds are deciding if a coal export project violates any tribal rights. And down in Longview, there's you ever seen this? You ever drive down that way towards Portland? So if you're driving past Longview there, just a little further south, you see a big old plant. It's a hydrogen peroxide plant. Well, they are, in addition to how big it is now, starting some major expansion. So we'll have that story for you. Also coming up on iFIBER One News Radio, we have got a little bit of information about an artist that passed. Billy Paul passes. So we'll have that story as well. Talk about his life. The song always reminds me of good Mason County Idol days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had a singer that used to do this song. He was quite good at it, too. 7:41 now, iFIBER One News Radio. We'll take that break. When we come back, we'll have those stories and more here on Daybreak with Jeff and Carol. And again, be ready for the Mariners Monday Trivia Contest. It's coming up in about a half hour or so here on Daybreak.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Everyone needs healthcare insurance. It's the law now. And if you're still without a plan, Mason General Hospital can help you get started. Register now to avoid a fine on your taxes. Go online to Mason General Hospital's homepage and click on Washington Health Plan Finder, where you can browse the various health plans available. When you find the plan you want, call Mason General's project supervisor, Susanna Lopez, who will see if you qualify and help you get registered. It's easy. Just click, compare plans, and call 432-7766.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider, translation services provided.
Mason General and Family Athletics.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's that time of year again for Seattle Mariners baseball, and iFIBER ONE News Radio is the only station to carry the Mariners in the South Sound. Be part of the team and advertise your business on iFIBER ONE News Radio's coverage of the Mariners broadcast every day this season. Summertime in the Northwest means people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities and listening to the Mariners while camping, fishing, and boating. And the only place to listen to the Mariners around Puget Sound is on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Your business should be part of the Mariners broadcast each day to hit one of the biggest listening audiences in radio. Choose from packages that get you on every game or every inning of over 150 games this season. Call the sales team at iFIBER ONE News Radio today at 360-426-1030 or email us at sales@ifiberone.com and sign up to be part of the great season of Mariners baseball.
Whether I'm training for a marathon, kickboxing, or lifting, I train to add muscle and build my inner strength. I am proud that I was born this way, driven. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. You can find me on a Coast Guard cutter, along with my shipmates, who are a lot like me, driven and committed to our country and the safety of our citizens. We were born for the Coast Guard.
If you were born ready, learn more at GoCoastGuard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Good morning. It's 7:44. I'm Carol Gardner along with Jeff Slakey. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good. Thank you.
Good. Today, besides being Mariners Monday, is your last day to register online or by mail for voting. It's your last day also to update an existing voter registration. So if you haven't registered yet, get on the ball. Next Monday, or in 2 weeks from Monday, May 16th, is the last day to register to vote in person. So the August primary is coming up. That's August 2nd. And then, of course, we have the general November 8th. But if you are a candidate, they're going to start accepting candidate filings by mail starting May 2nd. And candidate filing week is May 16th through 20th. And if you decide to change your mind, then you have until 3 more days, May 23rd, to withdraw.
We'll get a chance to meet all the candidates throughout the political season here on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Try to bring them all onto the Daybreak show for you.
All the candidates?
We'll see. At least all the local candidates. Okay. We'll see about the nationals. We'll see what I can see if
what you can drum up.
See if I can get some calls into people. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Cool stuff. 7:46 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. And Mariners Monday is coming up here soon. Additional headlines from the Associated Press. Bellingham officials are working to expand shelter options for people as it again begins to clean up homeless camps. The Herald of Bellingham, the newspaper up there, reports a homeless outreach team is tasked with connecting people with services ahead of the enforcement. Police will work alongside parks or public works staff to coordinate these cleanups. The city wants to set up a shelter without restrictions like a ban on pets as staff and community groups pursue efforts to address homelessness. The mayor up there in Bellingham says the city stopped clearing out homeless camps amid a falling number of places for people to go. She said the city would clean up camps only to have just more spring up elsewhere. Lack of enforcement isn't helping the people, public health, or the environment.
State transportation officials say crews have repaired a large pothole on I-5 that caused a huge traffic jam near Marysville for several hours yesterday. Transportation spokespeople say the crews temporarily filled the hole, which was about 12 feet by 3 feet and 7 inches deep.
What?
I know.
12 feet by 3 feet.
And 7 inches deep. Yeah, you do not want to go into that with your car.
No.
A more permanent fix is coming. The pothole backed up northbound I-5 traffic for 4 miles at one point. but all lanes reopened. It just took several hours. And the spokespeople say 88,000 vehicles move through that area each day, and it's likely that the heavy traffic and rain may have caused the pothole to form.
Wow. Boy, that's scary.
That is scary because, okay, sure, you have 88,000 vehicles. Sure, it's rainy. Then there would be potholes everywhere. Obviously, there was something wrong with that part.
When Mother Nature is ready to do this, there's no checking with the DOT. 7:47 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. ABC News is coming up at the top of the hour.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News. As GOP presidential candidates announced they are teaming up in an attempt to keep Donald Trump from getting the number of delegates he needs for the nomination. There's another round of primaries tomorrow. We'll talk about it coming up.
This doesn't even make sense to me. Why don't they just get on the ticket together? Why don't they just announce it's Cruz Kasich or Kasich Cruz, whichever way? I mean, it just seems like it's totally... They want to win, right? They're trying to win. They obviously don't have a 50-state strategy. They don't.
I don't know. I think that they are being probably guided by the Republican establishment.
To ensure, this is what Cruz's campaign manager, Jeff Rowe, said in a statement. To ensure that we nominate a Republican who can unify the party and win in November, our campaign will focus its time and resources in Indiana. In turn, clear the path for Governor Kasich to compete in Oregon and New Mexico. So they've already given up on those two states. So what does the voters of those states feel?
I don't know. They say unify the party, but Trump seems to have a lot of backers.
There's a lot.
I don't know if I'd call it unifying, but he has a lot of people
He's got the votes.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a very different election year than usual.
Oh, and then the Koch brothers, Charles and David Koch, they always talk about these guys as the big money guys. They're the ones who put billions in this stuff. They don't like either of the Republicans.
No, they said that Hillary would probably be a better president.
What is going on?
I know. It's crazy. Robotic warships, potholes, the plague.
Cats and dogs, friends and neighbors. Oh, my goodness. It's the end of the world. When we come back, we will talk about the stories coming from the coal plant that we were talking to you about, and then also from Longview and the Billy Paul obituary. We'll read for you as well. It's all coming up here on Daybreak.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Do you synchronize your planting schedule based on the moon's phase? A word to the wise on waxing and waning today from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Monday, April 25th, the 116th day of the year. Al Pacino has a birthday, and on this day in 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway opened, connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. Depending on which part of the country you're in, planting season is either here or rapidly approaching. If you go by the age-old custom of planting by the moon's phase, here's how things stand. There is a waning moon right now, so any planting will be by the dark of the moon. This period is thought to be favorable for below-ground crops, potatoes, carrots, radishes, and such. After the new moon on May 6th, planting will be by the light of the waxing moon, favorable for above-ground crops like beans, peppers, and tomato plants. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Consult our spring planting guide online at almanac.com.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
.53 at iFIBER One News Radio on a Monday morning, and a good morning to you. It is Daybreak here. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
Thanks, Rick. And yeah, that coming up just after the news. You'll have one more chance to hear Sean Wells' sports reports. In there, he's got the clues. He's got the tidbits, the information you need.
Can't miss it.
And then at 8:15, we'll talk about the Mariners, see how they're doing, check the standings and their upcoming opponents. Have a clip from the game on Saturday where King Felix gets the strikeout record for the Mariners, besting the big unit, Randy Johnson, in a shorter amount of time as well for a pitcher for the Mariners. 7:53 here at iFIBER One News Radio, and for centuries, Lummi tribal fishermen have harvested crabs, dug up clams, and fished for salmon in the tidelands and waters of northwest Washington state. Now, the tribe says a proposed $700 million project to build the nation's largest coal export terminal threatens that way of life. The tribe last year asked the feds to deny permits for the project. The Gateway Pacific Terminal, a venture between the SSA Marine and Cloud Peak Energy, would handle up to 54 million metric tons of dry bulk commodities, mostly coal, at a deepwater port at Cherry Point. Seattle-based SSA Marine says the Corps should find the project doesn't adversely impact the tribe's fishing rights. Company contends that the most productive fishing for the tribe doesn't occur near that wharf.
A hydrogen peroxide manufacturer in Longview is starting a $22 million expansion. Crews broke ground on the Longview Solvay Chemicals project at the end of March, and J.H. Kelly and DeWitt Construction is managing underground work, and Solvay has not yet awarded a contract for above-ground construction, and it's slated to end in October. The $22 million project is the first phase of a larger effort to boost hydrogen peroxide production by 10%. And the first phase of expected to generate about 40 jobs at peak construction, with 2 permanent employees added as a result of the expansion. Solvay officials say they're working to meet the rising demand for hydrogen peroxide from the pulp and paper industry.
7:55 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Billy Paul, jazz and soul singer, passed away yesterday at his home in Blackwood, New Jersey. The home at the age of 81. Statement on Paul's official website reads, regret to announce with a heavy heart, Billy has passed, serious medical condition. Birth name, Paul Williams, topped the Billboard Hot 100 with the Grammy-winning 1972 song right there that we heard, Me and Mrs. Jones, written and produced by Gamble and Huff. In a statement, they said Billy's voice combined both jazz, R&B, and soul vocals, making him one of the greatest artists to come out of Philly, which they've had plenty of great artists coming out of Philly. Proudest moment with Billy was recording the salacious smash, Me and Mrs. Jones. And again, we used to have Greg the plumber used to sing Me and Mrs. Jones all the time during our song. Mason County Idol. Man, he put on a show. People go crazy town. Oh, that was a lot of fun. For those days. That was good stuff. So we got a thing. Michael Bublé released his own version of this song back in 2007, but Billy Paul, voice there, dies at the age of 81 over the weekend. 7:57 here now at iFIBER One News Radio. Another thing here with just a couple of seconds left. Looks like they're having a fun night tonight on Dancing with the Stars. For example, so it's celebrities, they're going to be recreating famous dance routines tonight. So the jive from Footloose, they're doing that for Footloose. Do you remember the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Yes.
So when he had the mask on, he was in that big yellow suit. They had that kind of Mambo Italiano dance sequence. So they're doing that one. Some folks are doing that. The Bossa Nova from Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Von Miller, who is the MVP, the reigning Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
He is going to be doing Bad. Michael Jackson's Bad.
Tonight?
Yeah, this will be tonight.
I might have to watch that.
And then the NSYNC VMA Awards performance of Bye Bye Bye. And if I remember correctly, that is the one where they came down as marionettes. And this was like 98, 99, and they came down, and the NSYNC Bye 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 video just came. And they were like marionettes dancing. It was some pretty cool stuff. Jai-Ho from Slumdog Millionaire. And then Ginger Z, who does the early morning weather for us on iFiber 1 during Overnight America. She's doing the song Nasty from Janet Jackson. So it's kind of a fun, it's always better too when you know the music.
Right.
You know, I don't know who any of these, Doug Flutie, I mean, I know he's a footballer, but really, come on, I don't have much in common with these folks. But when you see these routines and it brings you back, like the Footloose, I mean, come on, Footloose. Love it. Lyndon. Google it. 7:58 here at iFiber One News Radio. Start getting ready. We are going to be getting ready for our Mariners Monday Trivia Contest here shortly.
Hi, this is Rick Riz. The Mariners Monday Contest is coming up. Get ready to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Save this number, 360-462-1041.
You'll have one more chance to hear Sean Wells' sports reports before we open the phone lines and play the Mariners theme music. We'll also go over how the Mariners are doing so far this season, and the tickets this upcoming Mariners Monday Trivia Contest will be for the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. It's also Root Sports' Kyle Seager bobblehead night. Sean Wells Sports coming up after Marilyn Foster and ABC, and we'll get ready to get some winning.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFiber One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Gay rights protesters greeted North Carolina legislators as they returned for their annual session to call for a repeal of the bathroom access law that they call discriminatory.
Instead of looking at us as a beautiful, welcoming city, got people now saying, we're not going to send our dollars to North Carolina.
The Reverend Deborah Hopkins was among them. The group is also presenting a petition to the governor. The city of Cleveland has reached a $6 million settlement over the death of 12-year-old Tamir Rice, an African-American boy playing with a pellet gun, gunned down by police. President Obama plans to send more Americans into Syria.
Just as I've approved additional support for Iraqi forces against ISIL, I've decided to increase U.S. support for local forces fighting ISIL in Syria.
Speaking in Germany, he pledged they won't be in a combat role. Donald Trump is dismissing as desperate his two Republican rivals who are openly plotting to stop him from getting the nomination. ABC's Jonathan Karl says Ted Cruz is particularly eager to stop the Trump train.
There's an increasing sense of desperation in the Cruz campaign. They have to change the trajectory. I would not be surprised to see him name a running mate even before the Indiana primary next week to try to get an extra boost, basically a running mate that would help him through the rest of the primary.
Marijuana growing operations were found at 3 of the 4 homes where 8 family members were found fatally shot in Ohio, execution style. Meanwhile, ABC's Alex Perez says police are frantically searching for suspects.
With the clock ticking, authorities are making a plea to the public for tips to track down a cold-blooded killer. Investigators working around the clock, but so far, no arrest.
Days after his death, Prince's greatest hits album is #1 on the Billboard charts. Saturday Night Live dedicated its entire show to him. It was called Good Night, Sweet Prince. Jimmy Fallon hosted and opened it, saying there was never a time when Prince wasn't cool. This is ABC News.
In that neighborhood, it was almost impossible to get what we could afford. So I had set up alerts on Zillow to say, if anything in this area ever comes below a certain price point, it just popped up one day and I was like, oh my God, we have to go see it. It's a really wonderful neighborhood. And then to add on to that, how wonderful the house is so cool.
Home means something different to everyone. With millions of homes for sale or rent on Zillow, whatever home means to you, Zillow can help you find it.
Spring is here. Now's the time to try something new. Open your road with a brand new Can-Am Spyder. Built for the open road, more stable than a motorcycle, and more open to the life around you. For a limited time, get 0% APR financing for 60 months or up to $2,500 rebate on select 2015 models. Visit your local Can-Am Spyder dealer today. Offer ends April 30, 2016. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The White House is expected to release some of the classified documents that 9/11 families have been requesting. They could shed light on the possible Saudi connection. More from ABC's Megan Hughes.
The Obama administration has been under pressure to release the 28 pages of the 9/11 Commission report involving specific sources of foreign support for some of the 9/11 hijackers. They were withheld under the order of then President George W. Bush and are being stored in a secure room in the basement of the Capitol. One of the co-chairs of the panel says he's expecting a decision from intelligence officials about their release in the next several weeks. 15 of the 19 hijackers were citizens of Saudi Arabia, and the release comes at a time when relations with that country are already strained. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
Hawaiian tourism officials have a message for the locals. Be nice to visitors. They've even launched an online video campaign to remind residents about all the money tourists bring into the state. The tagline, take care of tourism. It's family business. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Shelton City Engineer Mike Michaels said work is in full swing on the $3 million state-funded Lake Boulevard and Pioneer Way improvement project. The first layer of pavement has been laid on Lake Boulevard from University Street to the city limit. Work should begin this week on sidewalks on the south from University to U.S. Highway 101. Final paving on the project is not scheduled until July. The road work is primarily funded through state transportation improvement dollars. Kevin Schmelzlin with Shelton to the Top was busy over the weekend with his continuing efforts to clean up the Shelton-Mason County area. Schmelzlin told Daybreak that his cause recently got support from the sheriff's office.
Well, fortunately, we were receiving the support of the Mason County Sheriff's Department in actually removing the trash. So our volunteers are not having to take money out of their own wallets to pay for these dumping fees anymore.
Cool.
So that's a great partnership that we have. I know the Sheriff's Department actually initiated that conversation.
Oh, good.
So I'm really excited about that partnership.
This weekend, volunteers were working on a bad dump site near Webb Hill Road. Keep up with cleanup efforts on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shelton to the Top. Jerry Apple from Shelton's SAD Club stopped by Daybreak to talk about tomorrow night's Domino's Pizza Takeover to help raise funds for the club.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun Tuesday, standing out there holding up signs and encouraging everybody to come in. I'd like to see a line all the way down.
Wouldn't that be something?
All the way down to the pine tree, you know.
Yeah.
Money goes in part to SAD when you place your orders between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. SAD Club members Rachel and Josh explained how the money raised will be used.
We are going to use it to go to conferences.
One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge conference that's coming up. It's called the Spring Youth Forum. That's one of the best ones that we go to, and it's really fun. And we also go to a national conference.
And it won't be all work for the students. In addition to giving a presentation at the Great Wolf, the SAD members will get some time to play on the water rides. The Tax Foundation says Washington State will reach its Tax Freedom Day this week, when residents of the state have earned enough money to pay their total tax bill for the year. Washington taxpayers will meet this obligation on Wednesday. The country as a whole achieved its Tax Freedom Day yesterday. In 2015, Americans paid $3.28 trillion in federal taxes and $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes, for a total tax bill of $4.85 trillion, or 31% of national income. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Just a note to express our appreciation for restoring our faith in a handshake. You did what you said you would, and that's all anyone can expect.
We truly appreciate the work that was done. And your son Ryan is a wonderful representative of your company. Thank you again for making the gutters clean and our roof moss resistant.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Natalie Albaugh recorded 4 strikeouts on the mound and was 3 for 3 at the plate as Shelton fast pitch took care of Capital 12-1 on the diamond. The High Climbers take on undefeated in conference play Central Kitsap this afternoon at Shelton High School. The Mariners got off to a hot start on their way to a 9-4 victory over the Anaheim Angels. Kyle Seager broke out of his slump in the first inning with a 3-run jack over the right field fence.
And the 2-0 pitch to Seager. Here she comes, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. Calhoun going back to the 1-inning track, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Kyle Seager with a 3-run, 2-out home run here in the top of the first inning.
That was Seager's 3rd home run of the season. Wade Miley pitched a solid outing for Seattle, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. The Mariners are back in action tonight hosting the Houston Astros. Pre-game is live on iFIBER ONE News Radio at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:10. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 8:10 and I'm Carol Gardner. It looks great outside the studios with lots of sunshine, but there is a chance of rain. There are scattered showers around. Hopefully you don't get caught in one of those. It's going to be mostly sunny today with highs in the upper 50s, and tomorrow it's about the same, more clouds. Right now it's 50.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here. iFIBER ONE News Radio. Yeah, Carol, you're right. I was just out there looking out the windows and looks nice.
I know. It does. Looks really nice. It's a good morning for just watching the sun and drinking coffee.
So you're going to say good morning to watch the Daybreak show on the all-new iFIBER1newsradio.com.
Actually, that's a great idea also.
There are plenty of ways to connect with us, and one of them you will need shortly for our Mariners Monday Trivia Contest. We're on the AM at 10:30. Maybe the FM is a little better in your geographic area. Try that out at 103.3 or vice versa. Twitter, you can follow us at iFIBER ONE Radio. You can get our news on Facebook by liking our page. Just search for iFIBER ONE News Radio in the Facebook search bar there at the top of their page. We've just launched the brand new iFIBER1newsradio.com, like we mentioned, and you can listen to the show, watch the Daybreak. You can listen to the station all the time. We videocast the Daybreak show, and you can watch it on iFIBER ONE News Radio. You can also comment on any of our stories and post as well. You do need to register. We don't take that information and give it to anybody. We need it to make sure that you're real people. Remember, we went through this whole big rigmarole last time with inappropriate comments by people and things like that. So we just wanted to make sure we got everything squared up, ready to go, and that's on the all-new iFIBER1newsradio.com.
And some headlines for around the area. All traffic diverted to the new I-520 bridge. The old bridge is closed for good. And health officials say there is not any plague in the Tri-Cities. The EPA fines to Source Oil Refinery in Anacortes for violations. Seattle Utility says test results show water is safe to drink. A large pothole happened yesterday up on I-5 near Marysville, which is temporary fixed for now. And Seattle's Alaska Way Viaduct closed for 2 weeks.
Wow. That is a mess for commuters up in that area. Now would be a great time more than ever to tell your friends and family up in the Seattle area to relax, take the bus, take the Sounder.
That's right.
Do all sorts of potential
We've heard how
options.
great you can take the bus and jump on
That's
the
a lot of
ferry and all sorts of ways to get around besides just driving your car.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Mariners, see where they're in the standings, and get ready to give you a pair of tickets to an upcoming game. That's all coming up next here on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information.
I'm with Scott Alsterberg, sales manager at the all-new Gillis Auto Center here in Shelton. This is Truck Month, Scott. What's that mean?
It sure is, Dale. Well, what that means to you, save big time.
Tell me more.
Well, not only is it Truck Month, but right now we are liquidating our 2015 inventory. And what that means is any remaining 2015 from either company in stock, you can buy at a significant savings. What I'm talking about is I'm going to show you the dealer invoice, the real invoice. And then we're going to take away our dealer holdback. And then we're going to take away all of the incentives. And you can walk out of our store literally saving up to $9,923.
Oh, my word. How are you guys going to keep the lights on?
Well, hopefully we'll get some good trades on all of this.
Wow. It's Truck Month, and you're liquidating all your 2015s, cars and trucks. It's a new place. It's the all-new Gillis Auto Center. Downtown City Center exit.
Just go to Gillis.
It's about your life and your money. It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
The more generous you are, the more attractive you are. Generous people are attractive. They're just nicer people. You ever been around somebody that never gives anything and is selfish? Every time you see them coming, what do they want something. They're not bringing something to the party. They're taking something from the party. All they talk about is themselves and what they can get from the interaction. Those aren't generous people. Hi, this is Dave Ramsey. Tune into my show weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. Before too long here on Daybreak with Jeff and Carol, we'll be giving you a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Got to wait for that Mariners theme music to pop on and the listener line at 360-462-1041. So the Mariners right now sitting at 500, Carol. 9-9. Just a half game back between Oakland and Texas, who are the leaders in the AL West. They're ahead of Los Angeles, who's 8-11, and Houston, who we anticipated when they first came on the scene to be down in the tanks like that, but they are 6-12 right now. On Saturday, oh my goodness, take a listen to this clip from the Saturday game.
He looks in, the sign from Iannetta, and the 2-2 on the way, swing, and a missed, strike 3, and there it is. The King, Felix Hernandez, with career strikeout number 2,163, has just moved by the big unit, Randy Johnson. The all-time strikeout leader in Seattle Mariners history. Felix takes the ball, rolls it on over to skipper Scott Service. Congratulations to the King, Felix Hernandez, and another record for Felix Hernandez. Holy smokes.
I wonder if in the moment he realizes, because there's the pomp and the circumstance, but if he knows the pitch before that pitch, that this could be the game.
Oh, I'm
record.
sure he knows.
Think
I'm
so?
sure he's totally up on that, yeah.
So he ended up that day with 2166, and the big unit, as Rick said, they're 2162. The rest of that top five for the Mariners all time, Jamie Moyer, these are some great names. Jamie Moyer, Mark Langston, Mike Moore. So great stuff from the Mariners pitching staff. Robinson Cano, 3 RBIs away from 1,000 in his career. So he's doing really well. And the Mariners just kind of continue on, and we love having them here on iFIBER1newsradio.com. Now's the time, 360-462-1041. First person with the right answer. Don't even ask the question. People calling in. Let's see if they got an inkling for what's happening here this morning as we turn that down and we turn this up and say good morning. It is Daybreak with Jeff and Carol. Who are we talking to?
This is Brian.
Hi, Brian. How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you.
Doing good. Good to have you on the air with us this morning. Carol, Brian, have you been listening to Sean's sports reports?
Absolutely, every day.
Oh, very good. So he's got the answer in there. And Carol, what's the question for Brian today?
Brian, how many home runs has Kyle Seager hit this season?
This was his third home run.
Hey, congratulations,
Yep,
Brian.
you
You're
got
the
it.
big winner. You won a pair of tickets to the May 14th game. It is against the LA Angels and just so happens to be Root Sports' Kyle Seager bobblehead night.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jeff and Carol.
So, Brian, have a great day. Let's see. I have a phone number here on our caller ID, and I will write that down. Otherwise, I think we're good to go here, and we'll be in touch and make sure that you get those tickets to the upcoming game. Okay, Brian?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye. 8:19, the winning is just that easy, and we'll do it again next week for Mariners Monday.
Yeah, maybe the winning will be that easy for the Mariners now that they're at home.
Oh, yeah, they are. Very good. Taking on Houston tonight, pregame at 6. And they have Houston for the next couple of days, and then Kansas City comes to town.
That's right.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER One News Radio. Nonprofits post your events on iFIBER1newsradio.com. Every Tuesday is Senior and Military Discount Day at Nifty Thrifty in downtown Shelton. Members of military and seniors get 15% off every Tuesday. All proceeds go to support the Mason County Senior Activities Center. Nifty Thrifty is at 826 West Railroad Avenue. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Well, congratulations to Brian, the big winner for Mariners Monday Trivia Contest. We'll do those throughout the rest of the season here on iFIBER One News Radio. We have more tickets to give away. We got all told, we got 20 pairs, but we're going to do a family 4-pack for the 4th of July holiday because it's the 4th of July holiday, and I love it. Next week, again, we'll give away a pair of tickets for the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. Kyle Seager bobblehead night once again between 8:15 and 8:30. We talk the Mariners, and we talk tickets.
That's right. It's easy to win, as you probably heard.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to listen to the sports report. I mean, the answer was right there.
He had it ready to go.
He had it ready to go.
Good stuff by Sean Wells. Lynn Longan still coming up here in about 25 minutes on iFIBER One News Radio. We check the morning stock numbers in about 10, and Mary Lynn Foster will provide us with an update from the latest in local news. Some voting registration deadlines are today.
That's right. Last day to register online or by mail is today, and last day to update an existing voter registration online. So if you haven't done that yet, you need to get that done by mail. But if you can't do it online, you can go in person, and you have till Monday, May 16th. That's the last day in person that you can register or update an existing voter registration for to vote in the August 2nd primary. Also, if you're a candidate, the first day to accept candidate filings by mail will be May 2nd, and that whole candidate filing week is May 16th through 20th. And if you decide to withdraw, unlike Ben Carson, who did not do it in time, you have until May 23rd, because he will be on the presidential primary, or the ballot.
Here in Washington?
Everywhere. Ben Carson?
Really?
Yeah, because he did not withdraw in time.
Wow.
Officially withdraw in time.
I wonder if that would take votes away from...
Oh, there will be people that vote for him. I'm sure there will be people that will vote for him.
Mason County Treasurer Lisa Frazier wants to remind you that property tax payments for this year are due on April 30th. But wait, because April 30th is a Saturday, payments will be accepted up until Monday, May 2nd, without an interest charge. Please note, though, to have your payment accepted without said charge, payment must be either postmarked on or before the 2nd of May, made electronically online on or before the 2nd of May, or delivered in person to the treasurer's office on or before the 2nd of May. Payment drop box is located just to the left of the main doors there on Mason County Building 1 on North 5th Street in Shelton.
And Jeff, this might be right up your alley. Professional or amateur artists working in 2 or 3 dimensional media are invited to apply for gallery exhibitions at the Shelton Civic Center Rotating Art Gallery. The gallery is sponsored by the Shelton Arts Commission. It's very visible to the general public, and all visitors that enter the Civic Center on a daily basis can see these pictures. So Jeff was just painting earlier or this weekend, and he did a great rendition of a bicycle.
Couple of bicycle. Stephanie sent me a photo of it. I'm going to put it on our.
So there they are, the YouTube amateur artists.
It's just impressive to think, because you saw the picture online, and you go to this place downtown, Olympia, and you say, wow, this looks like a good one. And they had 4 rows of canvas, and people just kind of show up, and it's a huge date night, obviously. So we did a date night, but then it was like girls' night out. There was a couple groups. There was a family of 4 there as well. And so you all kind of sit in your rows, and you look at the painting and you go, there's no way I can do that. And you look at all the beautiful artwork around the whole gallery, and again, you says, boy, these are professionals. But the instructor was very good and went step by step and said, you need some colors for your background or for your bike, and then the flowers. And she went through and said, here's what you do, and here's how you outline things and paint it on the acrylics.
Well, after seeing that picture, I would first say you have more of a future in painting than in clay sculpting. But if you would have had somebody step by step show you how to do clay, do you think clay work would be more in tune with how your painting turned out?
Well, we talked about this at the beginning
of the show. Not that your clay is bad. Nobody's clay is bad.
I have a hard time just seeing a blank canvas and then being able to go, oh yeah, there's a bicycle in there. I just got to bring it out. Whereas with a bunch of clay, I know what a bowl looks like, and I can work to make it that way. But if you're looking for a fun date night, this is something. So I have friends on Facebook, Terry Allen, for example, who does our community calendars here. He's posted photos of these types of events. Tammy Newton as well on our Facebooks, and we're friends, so I've seen them. And they turn out professional, and it's a lot of fun. It was just a few hours in the evening. So yeah, definitely something to think about. I thought it was pretty darn cool.
Possibly hang your stuff up in the Shelton Civic Center.
I mean, definitely not that good, but pretty cool stuff. Big old pothole opened up near Marysville, and it caused a massive several-hour major traffic jam on I-5. Listen to this. 12 feet by 3 feet and 7 inches deep. A more permanent fix is coming, but transportation crews did temporarily fill that hole. The pothole backed up northbound I-5 for 4 miles at one point. All lanes reopened by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So this was right as people are driving, and it lasted, it was several hours later, as I mentioned, because of 4 mile backup. 88,000 vehicles move through that area each day. Likely that, in addition to heavy rain, may have caused that pothole to form.
And the Seattle's Alaska Way Viaduct is closed for 2 weeks. started last Friday, and transportation officials are urging commuters to plan ahead. The closure is expected to cause widespread traffic throughout the region. The DOT will close State Route 99 between South Spokane Street and the south end of the Battery Street Tunnel. The agency says the closure is needed because a tunneling machine known as Bertha is going to begin digging underneath the roadway. The agency is encouraging commuters to work from home. Yeah, sounds good. Adjust work schedules or try alternatives such as the bus, light rail, water, taxi, or van pools.
There are plenty of options, and I would suggest probably the best of those would be to work from home if you're
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's so many ways to do that now.
This helicopter, this house on Vashon Island up there was $33 million. And they were doing a beautiful major acreage. They said, oh, it's just a 5-minute helicopter ride. No, nothing.
Is that all?
Gee, Christmas. On the line from Edward Jones, let's say good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday to you.
Yes.
Still a couple days left in the month of April, and your office on State Route 3, in addition to the Edward Joneses in town, are still accepting pet donations.
Yes, we are. We are. Any type, any kind. Dry, wet, you name it.
Dog and cat, right?
Dog and cat, yes.
Okay.
I forgot the kitties last time.
Well.
Silly me. That's all right. Yes, we would love to have some. We always want more.
How's Wall Street this morning?
Well, U.S. stocks are trading lower as investors look forward to the results of the Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting this week. The central bank's policymakers are expected to hold interest rates steady, but may adjust their description of the economic outlook to reflect more favorable conditions that leave the path open for possible rate hikes. In economic news, purchases of new homes in the U.S. unexpectedly declined in March for the third month, reflecting the weakest pace of demand in the West since July 2014. U.S. bond prices are little changed. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is consumer staples, while the worst performing sector is energy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 131 points at 17,872. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is down 12 points at 2,079, and the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 22 points at 4,883. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 250 million shares being traded, and decliners are outnumbering advances by roughly 3-to-1 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up $7.76 to $1,240.29. The spot price of silver is up 7 cents to $17.05, and crude oil prices are down 31 cents to $43.42. In the bond market, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.72%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.9%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is up is down $1.09. Costco is up $1.44. Boeing is down $1.09. Starbucks is up 11 cents, and Microsoft is up 18 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right, Karen, have a great day.
You too.
It's 8:30 now at iFIBER ONE News Radio. The latest in local news coming up next, brought to you this time by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Shelton City Engineer Mike Michaels said work is in full swing on the $3 million state-funded Lake Boulevard and Pioneer Way improvement project. The first layer of pavement has been laid on Lake Boulevard from University Street to the city limit. Work should begin this week on sidewalks on the south from University to U.S. Highway 101. Final paving on the project is not scheduled until July. The road work is primarily funded through state transportation improvement dollars. Kevin Schmelzlin with Shelton to the Top was busy over the weekend with his continuing efforts to clean up the Shelton-Mason County area. Schmelzlin told Daybreak that his cause recently got support from the sheriff's office.
Well, fortunately, we were receiving the support of the Mason County Sheriff's Department in actually removing the trash. So our volunteers are not having to take money out of their own wallets to pay for these dumping fees anymore.
Cool.
So that's a great partnership that we have. I know the Sheriff's Department actually initiated that conversation.
Oh, good.
So I'm really excited about that partnership.
This weekend, volunteers were working on a bad dump site near Webb Hill Road. Keep up with cleanup efforts on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shelton to the Top. Jerry Apple from Shelton's Sad Club stopped by Daybreak to talk about tomorrow night's Domino's Pizza Takeover to help raise funds for the club.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun Tuesday, standing out there holding up signs and encouraging everybody to come in. I'd like to see a line all the way down.
Wouldn't that be something?
All the way down to the pine tree, you know.
Yeah.
Money goes in part to SAD when you place your orders between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. SAD Club members Rachel and Josh explained how the money raised will be used.
We are going to use it to go to conferences.
One of them is the Great Wolf Lodge conference that's coming up. It's called the Spring Youth Forum. That's one of the best ones that we go to, and it's really fun. And we also go to a national conference.
And it won't be all work for the students. In addition to giving a presentation at the Great Wolf, the SAD members will get some time to play on the water rides. The Tax Foundation says Washington State will reach its Tax Freedom Day this week, when residents of the state have earned enough money to pay their total tax bill for the year. Washington taxpayers will meet this obligation on Wednesday. The country as a whole achieved its Tax Freedom Day yesterday. In 2015, Americans paid $3.28 trillion in federal taxes and $1.57 trillion in state and local taxes, for a total tax bill of $4.85 trillion, or 31% of national income. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. Best deals, best price, best trade, and low payments. Truck Month continues at family-owned Gillis Auto Center with our entire truck inventory discounted for this event. Ford F-Series, best-selling vehicle in America. Huge rebates, great selection from half-ton on up. Gas, diesel, 2 or 4-wheel drive. Huge savings up to $10,000. Just go to Gillis. The all-new Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. City Center Matlock exit and 24/7 at GillisAutoCenter.com.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
We have a universe that's expanding like a balloon. And in every astronomy class, the professor takes out a balloon, gets a felt pen, and puts little spirals on the balloon called galaxies. And there we are sitting in the Milky Way galaxy. And then the astronomy professor begins to blow up the balloon. And sure enough, the distance between the balloons expands. So the universe is expanding.
The Lakers are looking for a new coach. Cavs and Spurs advance, and Johnny Football in big trouble. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. After 2 seasons on the job, the Lakers fired head coach Byron Scott late Sunday night. The last 2 years have been the worst in franchise history under Scott, with a record of 38 and 126. The Cavaliers are off to the second round after sweeping the Pistons 100-98 in Detroit. LeBron James says, nice job by new coach Tyronn Lue.
You know, he gave us a game plan, and if we, as the players, could execute that as close to 100%, then we had a good chance to win every game, which we did.
Atlanta or Boston up next for Cleveland. The Warriors' golden boy left game 4 with a knee injury.
Curry slips and falls. The jumper's up no good. Curry is hurt, but he is limping badly.
On KNBR, Curry will have an MRI today after spraining his right knee. Warriors beat the Rockets to take a 3-1 series lead. The little guy hits big shots as Boston levels the series with the Hawks.
Kick to the corner. Isaiah 3. Got it!
Elizabeth, I'm coming to see you, and I got a sandwich in my hand, baby. Oh!
Cedric Cornbread Maxwell doing his best Red Fox imitation on WBZ. Boston drops Atlanta 104-95 in overtime. The Spurs are into the second round, sweeping the Grizzlies 116-95. NHL in Brooklyn went to double overtime.
Tavares, right circle, walks in, shoots the line on the save. Rebound, Tavares goes in and scores! John Tavares has won it in overtime!
On WRHU, the Islanders eliminate Florida 2-1 in 6 games. Tampa Bay up next. Washington shuts out the Flyers 1-0, taking the series in 6 games. Caps and Penguins in round 2. Dallas holds off Minnesota to knock out the Wild 5-4. ABC affiliate WFAA in Dallas reports quarterback Johnny Manziel has been indicted by a Dallas County grand jury on a misdemeanor assault charge. An announcement expected today. And he's back on the UFC card after all. Conor McGregor tweeting overnight that he's fighting Nate Diaz in UFC 200 in Las Vegas. NASCAR Carl Edwards won the Sprint Cup race in Richmond, Virginia. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Natalie Albaugh recorded 4 strikeouts on the mound and was 3 for 3 at the plate as Shelton fast pitch took care of Capital 12-1 on the diamond. The The High Climbers take on undefeated in conference play Central Kitsap this afternoon at Shelton High School. The Mariners got off to a hot start on their way to a 9-4 victory over the Anaheim Angels. Kyle Seager broke out of his slump in the first inning with a 3-run jack over the right field fence.
And the 2-0 pitch to Seager. Here she comes, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. Calhoun going back to the warning track, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Kyle Seager with a 3-run, 2-out home run here in the top of the first inning.
That was Seager's third home run of the season. Wade Miley pitched a solid outing for Seattle, going 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. The Mariners are back in action tonight hosting the Houston Astros. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 8:40. I'm Carol Gardner. It looks great outside the studio with lots of sunshine, but it looks in the forecast there could be some showers. There are pockets floating around, but it's going to be a mostly sunny day with highs in the upper 50s. Tomorrow we're going to have more clouds, but highs are going to be about the same, and looks that way for Wednesday as well. And right now it's 51.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:39, iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. Congratulations to Brian, our last big winner for Mariners Monday Trivia Contest. More Mariners Monday winning is happening each week here on iFIBER One News Radio. Daybreak. The way you get in on the winning is by calling the listener line 360-462-1041. Just one of the ways that you can contact with us here at the Old Radio Ranch. We're on the AM at 1030. We're on the FM at 103.3. On Twitter, you can follow us at iFIBER One Radio. Get us on your Facebook page as well. Like our page, right? And then we pop up on your news feed. You can share all the great stories with your friends in the Facebook world at iFIBER One News Radio in the search bar at the top of the page, and you'll be able to get to our site. We've just launched the new iFIBER1newsradio.com, and on the site you can comment, post, and even watch the Daybreak show. You can listen to the station as well via the internet stream. The listener line phone number as well, 360, as I mentioned, 462-1041. 8:40 here at iFIBER One News Radio, and a good morning to you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It was a pretty good weekend.
It was a good weekend. There were some rain showers, but for the most part, it was pretty nice out.
I think what I'm going to do, we have Lynn Lonkin coming up in just a couple of moments. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to get her on to talk about things that the Economic Development Council of Mason County is going through. ChooseMason.com is the website. And after Lynn, we'll see if we can bring the old Deej on here to see how the Traveler 5K was over there.
All right.
It's a big event, I know, up by the Alderbrook. 8:41 right now. Good Monday morning to you.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER One News Radio.
Because of the fact there's been a revolution in paleontology with regards to how we view the dinosaurs. When I was a kid, we learned the dinosaurs were cold-blooded, lumbering creatures, kind of dim-witted. They didn't nurture their young, and that's why they went extinct. They were simply too stupid. Well, now we realize that we were pretty much wrong in how we view dinosaurs.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER One News Radio are still your only South Sound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are brought to you in part by Whitney's Chevrolet, Ascend Roofing, L&D Bottling, Claris Eye Center, PUD number 3, and Olympia Furniture Company.
Peninsula Credit Union presents PHIL. PHIL stands for Peninsula Home Improvement Loan. Designed to help you get things done around the house, PHIL can help you a little or a lot. This is not a second mortgage. With a Peninsula Home Improvement Loan, you can get 7.24% APR on a 60-month loan or 7.49% APR for 120 months. From replacing the roof to new flooring and everything home-related in between, take advantage of a Peninsula Home Improvement Loan, and PHIL will help you get the job done. Call Peninsula Credit Union today. 800-426-1601. That's 800-426-1601. Or apply online at pcfcu.org. OAC. See representatives for details. Limited time offer. Additional terms and conditions may apply. Annual percentage rate is effective as of June 11th, 2014. Loan amounts from $500 to $15,000. Terms available from 60 months up to 120 months. For payment examples, call 800-426-1601.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER ONE Newsradio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER ONE Newsradio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER ONE Newsradio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
844 iFIBER ONE News Radio, Monday morning, and a good morning to you. It's Jeff and Carol. We're happy to have Lynn Longan on the air with us, the director of the Mason County Economic Development Council. Morning, Lynn.
Good morning.
Did you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend.
It's nice out there, and bits and parts. There was a couple showers here and there, but for the most part, it's spring here in the Great South Sound.
Yeah.
Got some big roundtables coming up. We've been talking about all the roundtables that you guys have been putting on over the last couple of weeks. This week is the Value-Added Agriculture Week.
Right. Food and beverage, value-added ag. We've invited farmers, food and beverage companies, and cannabis companies.
Okay.
We did invite the cannabis growers. And the wine and wineries and distilleries, we've invited them too.
Sure.
Yeah.
All comes from agriculture. Yeah. What is, after the end of this, everybody wraps up after the 11:30, 11:35. Right. So people at 11:35 are reflecting on what they just learned. What are some of the takeaways from previous roundtables that you can share?
I think what we're getting here is we're doing a SWOT analysis. So we're asking, it's not that you come and listen. We're not educating you at all on the industry. What we're asking is for you to bring your expertise to the table and help us. So we don't particularly know what all of your challenges are to run that type of a business in the county. So we're asking you, come share with us. And then once we can figure out what those are, then we can figure out, so these are some strategies going forward. This is what we can do. And maybe it's not the EDC, but maybe it's the county changing permitting regulations maybe, or it's if it's marketing, or I don't know. There's other entities involved though. So maybe it's something that the Mason County Conservation District can help with. And maybe they just didn't know it. I don't know. They probably know everything, but they probably do. They have a lot of great people. So, and they sent this invitation to all of their networks, and WSU Extension sent it to their networks, and Farm to Fork through Enterprise for Equity sent it to their networks. So we're hoping we get a good variety and a good display and a good showing of the industry.
So it's going to be at the Civic Center again on the 27th from 9 in the morning to 11:30. If someone is hearing this and maybe the message got lost,
right?
How can they get involved in it? Do they just show up, or do they
can
need to
just show up, or they can, if they want to talk to us beforehand, that's great. Give us a call at the EDC 426-2276. There's a little bit more information on the website about it. Again, just show up. It's
a great way. Also, I mean, if you're in one part of the industry, you might not have known there was somebody in a part of the industry that you needed also. Right. So it's almost sort of like everybody can sort of figure out who's who and how you go forward with that.
Yeah, that's true. One of the things that's come out, like the aquaculture one that I started picking up on is, they have different associations. They have the Pacific Coast Growers Association. They have all these different associations. But some of the smaller growers here in the county, there's a lot of smaller growers that just have little pieces of land that they're farming. They might not know about all the others. So maybe it's that, we kind of help facilitate and bring these talks together. I don't know. That's one of the things that might come out of this. Maybe it's just so simple, and yet it might have an effect.
Right.
There is a lot of that. I mean, people often will just assume that people know things that are happening without letting them know.
Right.
The May 11th industry roundtable that's coming up is for information and communication technology.
Right.
That would be server farms, or is that something a little different?
We're trying to figure that one out. So that's one that at the roundtables, people said, yes, we want that. I was thinking when we were at the roundtables that some people were saying they wanted like clean energy type programs. That's what they were, our businesses, that's what they were talking about. So it's kind of interesting in that I'm not really sure. I figured the fiber providers, that type of thing. And how do you grow an industry? We don't have a lot of high-tech, per se, companies.
The Olympic College, anybody from the IT departments there?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we'll have them there.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll invite them. iFIBER.
Hey,
will be invited.
And soda also sort of shows you what's lacking in the area and what you could bring in
and
to
when
fill
we
that
did
gap.
These roundtables, I said to everyone, don't worry about whether we have it or not. Don't, let's just, sky's the limit. Tell me if this is something that we should pursue. And so if this is an industry that we want to grow, then we have to figure out how.
Yeah.
What do we need? What's the infrastructure we need? What's the workforce we need? So figure that out, and then figure out how to recruit that type of company.
Thinking about this too, someone could just know that they want to do something in information technology, just for example. And like Carol mentioned, they come and they hear all the stuff that's happening, and they could maybe fill in that hole of something that's not there. These are very nice.
It's a harder one if you're going to start from, you don't really have a foundation.
Yeah.
Aquaculture, for example, let's face it, we have more aquaculture growers in Mason County. I shouldn't say that because I don't know it for a fact, but I think we have more in Mason County than the other counties. We have a very strong aquaculture industry. So to help grow an industry that's already growing on its own, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's a little more challenging to grow an industry from the ground up. I expected people to come and say they wanted aerospace and Boeing because that's the big buzzword across the state. That didn't happen. I was kind of relieved it didn't happen. Boeing's not coming. Does that mean we can't grow aerospace industry? It doesn't. We actually could play onto Boeing, but it didn't come up. So
lots of different topics coming up. I'll just kind of go down these again on choosemason.com, the EDC's website, value-added agriculture, food and drink. This upcoming week on the 27th, next week in 2 weeks, it'll be the information and communication technology, aquaculture, as we mentioned, advanced manufacturing. That could be more like not necessarily Boeing, but the parts that Boeing would buy or something.
Sure. Or any manufacturing that has like technology in it. And
Very cool.
Or just plain manufacturing.
Just some manufacturing would be good too, yes. The EDC website, choosemason.com. On there, you'll be able to find out different pieces of information to help you
come to a decision if you're a business owner wanting to do more business in Mason County with demographics and maps and more on the way. Also, you can see where the news and events and contact availability as well with Director Lynn Lungan. The 2016 roundtables do continue on, and we will have this 27th is a Wednesday. No, is that a Wednesday? Where are we at, Meg?
Yes.
Calendar.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's
April
Wednesday.
27th, Wednesday, 9 to 11:30 at the Civic Center. Value-added agriculture, food and drink. You're going to take a break next week. Jennifer will be in.
Jennifer will be in.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thanks.
Good to see you. 8:52 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Take a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up here on a Monday morning. It's Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Do you synchronize your planting schedule based on the moon's phase? A word to the wise on waxing and waning today from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Monday, April 25th, the 116th day of the year. Al Pacino has a birthday, and on this day in 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway opened, connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. Depending on which part of the country you're in, planting season is either here or rapidly approaching. If you go by the age-old custom of planting by the moon's phase, here's how things stand. There is a waning moon right now, so any planting will be by the dark of the moon. This period is thought to be favorable for below-ground crops, potatoes, carrots, radishes, and such. After the new moon on May 6th, planting will be by the light of the waxing moon, favorable for above-ground crops like beans, peppers, and tomato plants. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Consult our spring planting guide online at almanac.com.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It's 8:54 at iFIBER One News Radio. A couple 5 minutes here left on the big show and on the air. The old Deej, who was
the traveler.
The traveler himself, literally.
Literally.
Morning.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good.
Good show
seeing
this
you.
morning. Thank you.
You're
What?
welcome.
No chill this morning?
Good show this
good
morning.
show.
Thank you.
No chill. Did you ride your bike in?
No chill, no bike.
Yeah.
I should have, though. But it would have been hard to pack the tent and everything back.
Oh, yeah.
Still
would
have
have
that
been
motorcycle?
interesting.
Huh?
You still have the
I
motorcycle?
still have it. In fact, I just got my license tab renewal in the mail, so I know I still have it
man.
there, buried under all my stuff in my shop somewhere.
Imagine Dale, Casey Salisbury Sheriff, Mason County Sheriff, and who's the other guy? Toby. Kevin. Out there. That's like, what's that
So
movie?
Wild
Hogs?
Wild
Yeah.
Hogs. That's how it would play out, I would
trouble.
guarantee you. That's how it would play out.
Well, it was good seeing you Saturday morning as I was getting set up for the opening day for youth baseball at MCRA. You were making duties at the Traveler 5K, the inaugural from Hood Canal Events.
Man, I have to tell you that, yeah, it really went exceptionally well. And hats off to Jeff and Carrie and Hood Canal Events. They organized and put on this first ever, the Traveler 5K Fun Run and Walk. Great turnout. Over 220 runners and walkers showed up.
Wow.
And lots of vendors there to support. And, people hung out till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just really, really a lot of fun. It's on an area called The Point, which is right out and across from, literally right across from the driving range at Alderbrook Golf Course. But you can see the clubhouse, and you can see a magnificent view of the canal and the Olympics and the Traveler. And we got pretty good cooperation from Mother Nature. It did start raining pretty good as we were breaking down. But as far as the event went itself, there was no rain, and everybody was in great spirits, and yeah, very successful.
Did you lead the exercises?
I led the march to the start line.
Okay.
And then I rode a golf cart back to the finish line.
Man.
I was totally the epitome of the opposite of what this was all about.
I mean, so there were food trucks and vendors and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, lots of local merchants that were around in the Union area that came up and set up their booths as well. North Mason Chamber and the folks that handle the tourism. Blue Collar, their tent and Wild and crazy, or the wild side of Washington. That's it. So they had their tent up and some Wi-Fi available, and it was just really a well orchestrated for the first time out. There was a couple of things. So the actual organized stretching didn't come off as scheduled, but there's a couple of glitches. But overall, it really went well. They have scheduled now for October the first ever 10K Mutter, Mason County Mutter, and it's going to be coming up in October, and that'll be up at the Skokomish Park up on Lake Cushman. So, Jeff, start getting in shape, because you're the only one on the staff that can.
We were talking about how he used to run 5 to 10 miles a day.
Well, I had on my Facebook thing popped up, and it was my week schedule. It was 5, 5, 8, 5, 20.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's when I was doing my marathon.
That's when he was
training.
young. 5 years ago.
My phone goes nuts when I reach my goal, which is 1 mile per day of movement.
Yeah.
Just walking.
He gets all sorts of fanfare. Way to go!
Way to go.
Yeah,
You
did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
2,000 steps.
A 10K Mutter, so a 7-mile race with events in between.
About every half mile.
So I've done 2 Warrior Dashes.
This is very similar.
And that's like that, only a little longer in length, but those are fun. And it's not about the time.
No.
With those events, because basically, unless you're the first one out the gate and you push everybody, like you pull a Costanza with the clown and the fire.
Get out of the way, lady.
Everybody runs, and then you get to the event,
and you stand around,
and you have to stand and wait for people to get through it.
Yeah.
So there's no real time. You just go and have a good time.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
That will be a lot of fun.
October.
I was, by the way, just as an aside, I was very impressed with the runners. And you had to figure out 7 minutes a mile or something average, or
9-minute mile.
9-minute miles. And so these people were done, like 20 minutes, 21 minutes, 22 minutes, 5K.
Yeah.
Like they almost beat me back in my cart.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so those runners.
Are you done already? And they go, yeah. And they weren't even like breaking a sweat.
Yeah, so that'd be like a 7 to 9 minute mile, which is about average. If you're if you run, that's about
shape,
good.
Yeah. So really up there, everybody was in such good. And there were some costumes up there and
fun
superheroes, and then the Seahawk, a lot of Seahawk garb that was being worn, and kids, people of all ages.
Good.
Yeah. So saw a lot of good old friends and a lot of good young friends. And I had a good time myself, and most everybody that I talked to did.
Good. I'm glad that it worked out well. HoodCanalEvents.com is their website. They do a couple other things, like they'll give you a taste of Hood Canal tours. There's some stuff at the Ridge they're working on. So check that out, HoodCanalEvents.com.
Okay, and I did post a video, 1-minute video of the start of the race. So if anybody wants to check that out.
Facebook page. We'll be back tomorrow. Tom Hartman's coming up next.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.